The Baltimore Ravens held off the Cincinnati Bengals 35-34 as the Bengals went for two at the end of the game and failed. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Happy Friday! It's Friday. Gotta get down on Friday. Partying, yeah. Fun. Looking forward to the weekend. Good morning, Rob Thompson. I'm A.J. Hoffman. How are we doing?
Good morning.
Good morning, Victor.
Good morning.
How you doing, Bubba?
I'm doing good.
Oh, you're the hero of the day. Benny's Tacos already.
Yeah.
They were delicious.
Oh.
Thank you,
It was
Benny.
about time we did that again.
We
Benny
were
and the
due.
kids.
We were due, man.
Yep.
I was gonna make cookies last night, and I walked in today, and everybody was like, "You didn't make cookies?" And I felt bad, like I disappointed people. But
You might as well have just brought like a cup of sugar and just gave it to us.
I know.
Right?
I took a nap yesterday. There's naps, and then there's what I did yesterday. I slept for over 4 hours yesterday.
Ooh, dangerous.
No, it was a day to do it. It was kind of overcast.
Yeah.
Pretty easy
But
day
then I
for
had
that.
I had a harder time going to sleep last night. I was all amped up because of the great NFL football match that we saw.
You know, I got stuck watching the Spurs. I watched the Spurs more than I probably should have.
I watched the Spurs. See, we're a good pair because I watched the Spurs less than I probably should have because of that game.
There was nothing.
That was such a great game last night, man.
But it was. But I got for those of us that watched the Spurs and then either flipped over right at the end or when it was kind of it was never really out of hand. So you had to kind of stay there till 2 or 3 minutes at least in the fourth. By the time I flipped over, there was about 9 minutes to go in the fourth.
Oh, you caught the best parts.
Yeah, it was touchdown, back and forth. So what I saw was spectacular football, worthy, down to the wire. And there is one caveat to the thing. One of the things that I live by, that you are what your record says you are.
Then that's the Bengals.
And the Bengals are that caveat.
The Bengals are better than their record says they are.
Unluckiest football team out there, but.
Well, the Bengals have now, with a loss to the Chiefs and 2 losses to the Ravens, they lost those 3 games by a total of 5 points.
Sucks because last night, at least in the last 2 minutes or the last 45 seconds, it was 11-14.
Yeah, there were some. The Bengals had stripes on their helmets, but the stripes weren't on their team.
Tell you, man, especially the 2-point conversion.
That was tough. Boy, here's what I like about Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is clearly one of the elite quarterbacks in the NFL. Clearly. You can't make a top 5 list and not have him on it. He is the only guy who's in that tier that doesn't get calls. Like, he gets hammered.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, you're right.
And what's funny is the rest of the guys in that tier, like for Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, because they are more run-oriented than Joe is, and Josh because he's so big, like normally those are the kind of guys who get hammered and they don't get calls. But Josh gets calls, Lamar gets calls, Joe Burrow does not. And he got beat up last night. There was and then they called one roughing the passer on the last drive. There should have been a couple more. He got face masked a couple times. It didn't get called.
They ran into they can't call it all. They literally can't call everything.
Then,
so
then stop hammering him.
Well, I mean, they did. They threw the flag on the worst one. So nothing was quite as bad as the worst one. But yeah, he got hit every time. But that's also a product of road football in the AFC North. You know what I mean? I mean, you're going into Baltimore. You better expect to get punched in the face. And they did. And to his credit,
literally.
man. Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
And as good as Burrow is, if you ask me to go to design a wide receiver it's Jamar Chase. If you asked me to go and 3D print the wide receiver that you would like to have, it would be Jamar Chase.
He's incredible.
I mean,
they do work well together.
He is so precise with Burrow. Those guys are dialed in as well as any two I've seen in a while. That was spectacular. And hey, man, if Zach calls the right play or there's not defensive holding called, we're having an entirely different conversation today, because whether they won or lost, that was still a turning point game for them. They're going to be able to win a lot of football games because now they know they can do it. They don't even need to have a full complement as long as those two are on the field. But the record is going to stand in their way. They might not make the playoffs, but they're going to wreck at least two other teams' plans.
Burrow, unlike most quarterbacks, doesn't get up. Like, Mahomes, anytime Mahomes get touched, like he does this little move, he does his wrist flick like he's throwing a flag in the air, and then one comes in.
But, that's status that's earned. You you earn that after a minute, and Burrow is still a young quarterback who spent a lot of time hurt, and I think that there's still something of, man, you still haven't earned the level. I mean, your play has gotten you here. You just haven't been here very long.
Well, he doesn't complain. I give him credit for that. But last night he said on the 2-point conversion, he said, "I just sailed it. We knew what situation we were in. You're not going to get those calls in that situation for the most part." And he said, "I feel like I've never really gotten those calls, so I don't expect it."
Wow.
He said, "I feel like there were a couple that were close, but I don't expect them, so I'm not mad at it."
I couldn't. I'm proud of the Bengals for doing what they did, for going for it. I am.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to rearview mirror it. I'm not going to look back on it. I was amazed that they got into that situation, that they got themselves in a position to win it. And I'm not sure, as we watched Cincinnati punch down the field to get themselves in a position to win that football game in Baltimore with 1:48 on the clock when they got the ball. I'm not sure if this was not an absolute indictment on Baltimore. My God, how did you let that almost happen?
Well, you say that. The Bengals were the ones that were up 21-7. Yeah, they're the one that let it happen.
Well, what I witnessed, the brief amount of time that I saw in the fourth quarter,
you missed the wrong meltdown.
The Ravens looked pretty damn good.
The Ravens were getting their ass kicked
I didn't
early
see
on.
Any of that. I saw Henry ripping 7-yard runs. I saw run-pass options that Lamar was running perfectly. What's the other wide receiver that I was having the night? The one that caught the touchdown? Not Flowers, but the other
Rashad Bateman.
Finding Bateman right and left. What I saw in the fourth quarter was the Raven offense at its best.
Yeah, it was a back and forth game. I mean, it really was. But I'm not trying to hindsight it. I would have kicked the extra point because.
But the book says on the road. You
I think
go
the book's
for the
changed,
win and
dude.
get the hell out. Well,
I think that book has changed.
Ask what's his name from the Bucks. I mean, has it? I mean, we saw one that didn't and lost, and we saw one that did and still lost. So I don't know if the book has changed.
If Todd Bowles is reading me the book, I ain't listening.
I'm just saying, the book I mean, you had a hot quarterback. You think, all I need is some more time, and my defense will hold up. Well, I'll do that. No, that didn't work. You're on the road against the Ravens defense, and in a hostile environment, you go, yeah, buy some time. They might screw it up. But they had shut that stadium down, and you could hear a pin drop when the touchdown scored. I've never seen, and it wasn't the touchdown that shut the place down. It was that long pass to Chase, that first long one, that the Ravens stadium went so quiet. Tirico and Herb Street weren't even sure if he caught it or got a first down. I mean, did he do that? It was a bigger play than the touchdown. And it was so quiet. I get it. I'd have gone. I'd have done it.
Yeah. It's a tough decision, obviously. And the Bengals they were 4-5. They were kind of
had to, right?
Yeah, in go for it mode. But man, it's a tough pill to swallow. They were playing so well, though. I mean, their offense seemed unstoppable.
In the first half, what were they doing to the Ravens? Were they stopping Henry? Were they just not allowing the run?
Derrick Henry was doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. I think his first 6 carries, he had like 14 yards or something like that. It's like you take that all day.
Well, yeah.
And the thought was the Derrick Henry was going to run wild on him.
Well, the
And
fourth
he just
quarter,
did
it looked
not.
like he had been, but I
No.
saw the numbers. It looked like they'd been obviously playing from behind and kind of throwing the ball. And then let's talk about that touch pass, that little Lamar Jackson jump pass that he threw
Where he
with a
starts
fadeaway jump shot.
taking off. Hey, you gotta turn your mic off
That
if you're gonna
was-
test stuff out in there, Vic.
That was beautiful. For lack of a better term, just
It's
the
it's-
grace that he showed throwing that ball, man.
It's undefendable. It's like we talked about with that Mahomes thing the other day. When Lamar, especially because Lamar took that ball like he was running with it, and then he just took it out, and it looked like a basketball shot.
And then Lamar perfected it last night. A little fadeaway jumper to the corner. Just brilliance personified. And the way it was the Steph Curry jump shot, turn and run to the other basket. He knew it was complete after he lobbed it up. I'm not sure if the better team won, but I'll say the Ravens certainly earned it.
Yeah. I still think the Bengals are going to make the playoffs. They're 4-6.
Don't they wish they were in another division?
Yeah, sure. But the good thing, maybe the bad thing. I don't know what you would consider this. The Bengals' next 2 games are against direct competitors for AFC playoff spots. They go to the Chargers, and then they get a bye, and then they're home to the Steelers.
It doesn't look friendly, man.
Well, and then good news, they're at Dallas on December 9th. So
They're not going to ruin Dallas's hopes. But I do believe, no matter what, Cincinnati's going to ruin somebody's season. They're just too good not to continue to win a lot more football games. I just don't think they have enough time.
Well, here's the deal. If you say there's seven playoff teams are going to make it, the Bengals currently have the 9th best record. They're a game behind the Denver Broncos for the 7th best record. And who's a better team, the Bengals or the Broncos?
I agree.
It's
but
not even close.
But the Broncos have a much easier schedule. They don't have to go against the same team.
The Broncos have to play the Kansas City Chiefs twice.
Yeah.
No,
No, I'm not saying, but I think both teams have 4 or 5 losses in them. Both of them. I don't think either one of them. I don't think Bengals are going to win out. There
No,
are
I don't
obviously some
either.
issues.
But I think the Bengals can go 9-7 or 9-8.
But there are, again, as the conversation we had yesterday, if you're going to tell me Joe Burrow's going to throw 5 touchdowns a game, they're going to be in it. That's what it's going to take.
Yeah. It is wild. We talked about the Texans last week. The Texans are 6-3 now with a +1 scoring differential. The Bengals are 4-6 with a +8 scoring differential.
Bad luck, man.
It is bad. In a way, but at the same time, I always say this too: winners win, losers lose.
Yeah, all of those kind of apply, but I will say that there are teams every season that if it can go wrong, it will, and it's not their fault. It's just sometimes the wheels fall off, and it felt like for the first 6 weeks of the season the wheels had fallen off. It was just not going to work, despite best efforts.
I generally live by the philosophy, though, that if you have a top-tier quarterback, you are not out of it until you're out of it. And the Bengals are one of the when I say top tier, I'm talking about like top 5.
Well, it's going to take 5 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns a game. He's literally going to have to carry them, but he's capable.
I think so. So I'm still not counting that team out. But that was a tough one last night. If they were sitting here at 5-5, we'd be talking about Joe Burrow might be the MVP because he might be dragging this thing all the way back from the dead. But as it stands, you probably got more Lamar Jackson MVP love last night.
Again, in the brief 9 minutes I saw, he looked pretty damn good.
He looked pretty damn good. All right, when we come back, we're going to hear from Stu Zickerman, who is the executive producer of the American Sports Story, the Aaron Hernandez story that's playing on FX right now. The finale is coming up next week, so we talked to him about that series, which Rob's watched pretty closely, or at least started to watch pretty closely. But I asked him about the thing we discussed.
The predilection, yes.
Yeah. But we'll hear from him next, and then at 6:45 we'll hear from head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, Mike McCarthy. We got a full show today. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I'll tell you what, Tri-County Meat Market's waiting on you today. And as we head toward one of those great dining holidays, Thanksgiving, before you think about your grill this weekend, I want you to think about Thanksgiving. It's about time for you to reserve your turkey. In fact, if you haven't already, they're just probably about to run out. I'm talking about those great Barber Farm turkeys coming out of Colorado that Tri-County brings every year. They're between 8 and 24 pounds. You got to reserve them because they're not going to be frozen. They don't have any of the antibiotics. They're all fresh and free range and all the good stuff. The best turkeys you're going to find, trust me, just you need to reserve it though, 8 to 24 pounds. And when you're doing it, make sure you pre-order your pies from the Ultimate Cheesecake Bakery. I've gotten one every year, at least one of them, and they've got several different flavors. Hey, pro tip, just go buy it and say you made it. They won't mind. Both locations are ready for that. Remember this weekend, lots of deals on the steaks as we come into the Thanksgiving holiday. Get yourself a big old steak for a weekend of fine football. Kickoff is early tomorrow. Make sure you get everything you need today, either on Habener Road or out on Ralph Fair. That's Tri-County Meat Market. A great meal starts with great meat coming out of Tri-County Meat Market. Go pick up some today, put it on the grill, and come by and thank me later.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Looks like a new trouble spot on the northwest side on I-10 westbound at Medical. That's a disabled vehicle. It's off to the shoulder. 410 southbound, the on-ramp from Houston Street, east side of town. That entrance ramp closed with road work. And ongoing road work, I-10 upper level eastbound Woodlawn to Frio Street. That's got the roadway reduced to just one lane. Now, if you guys see something we're not talking about, call us on that traffic tip line, 210-785-2601. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA. Time Saver Traffic.
What's on? 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the NFL, Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday night football. Presented locally by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay, and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today. That's progressive.com/careers.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
My dad was from West Virginia, so he had a very distinct accent. And I met this guy. He was handsome and everything else, but he sounded like my dad. He left a voicemail message once, and my mom was like, "Your father called." And I was just like, "Yeah, I can't do that." Especially if I'm going to call you daddy.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
What's with the outfit, Nigel?
This is my hunting attire, complete with my bright red jacket, hunting horn.
Whoa, Nigel. Hunting is a little different here in Texas.
And like hunting, plumbing, heating, and air conditioner repairs are all about skill and having the right equipment.
And all our Quarter Moon technicians with a fleet of fully stocked trucks know what to do when plumbing, heat, and AC issues pop up out of nowhere. Where'd you go?
I can't get my horse down from the deer blind.
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, 651-5899.
License number TNCLA 141074E and 16004.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now, during our Veterans Day sale, save 40% on the Sleep Number Special Edition smart bed, plus free home delivery with any base. Ends Monday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
Wendy's breakfast burrito has an entire breakfast in every bite. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese, cheese sauce, and sausage or bacon. So the first bite is like fresh American cheese sauce. And the second bite is like fresh American cheese sauce. Bacon. You get the idea. And now, get yours with $1 any size soft drink. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Exclusions apply.
See website for details. Bill Sappin is not a lender and does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
Honey, the credit card bill came and we're maxed out.
Great. Maxed out cards, rent is due, bills are piling up. We just need some extra cash to help us get by for a few weeks.
We should do what my brother did. He went to BillsHappen.com and got $3,000 the next day.
With our bad credit, I don't think so.
BillsHappen.com is different. They are one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with all credit types get up to $5,000.
I'm sure there's a lot of paperwork.
Nope, my brother said it was easy. He did it right from his phone.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan for up to $5,000 in minutes, and your cash can hit your bank account the next day. Bills Happen's lenders have millions of dollars to lend, regardless of your credit history.
Great news! I went to BillsHappen.com, and we will have our money as soon as tomorrow.
Wow, that is fast.
If you need extra cash, go to BillsHappen.com. That's BillsHappen.com. BillsHappen.com.
Hey guys, it's AJ Hoffman from the Morning Huddle. Guys, excited to tell you about my friends over at SA Card House. They're located right off of 281 at Bitters, and this is the best card house in all of San Antonio. This is a premier poker experience. I got used to playing online in Vegas, and then every once in a while I'd go out, I'd get in the casino and play cards. I'm so excited to be back in a place where I can get my hands on the cards, sit down at the table, feel the feel of the table, feel those chips. You gotta love it. This is a private social club. They're open 7 days a week, and they're open all hours of the night. So you get whatever hours you're working, you get off work, you want to go play some poker, great. You work in the mornings, you want to play in the afternoon, great, like me. It's a great time, great atmosphere, a clean place, which is a big deal for me, and they welcome every skill level. On top of that, they've got a bar and grill, Foster's Bar and Grill attached. You don't have to be a member to dine. 5-star chefs on hand with nightly specials. The food is incredible. Check them out, and check them out online, sacardhouse.com.
TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine is excited to announce a partnership that is revolutionizing access to care for orthopedic patients. The HURT app provides free 24/7 access to orthopedic expertise. HURT is the app to have before you need it. Don't wait for an injury to happen. Download HURT now for free, fast virtual access to orthopedic specialists. The HURT app is available online in the App Store and Google Play. Learn more about the HURT app and the OrthoNow Injury Clinic at TSAOG.com.
Can you dig it? Come into any Ewald Kubota dealer and dig the savings on the full line of Kubota excavators. Like 0%, 0 down for 48 months. Plus, save up to $10,000 off. Come see us. Kubota deals are here. Kubota deals are now.
Now through December 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-249-2755. That's 800-249-2755. 800-249-2755.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to HIMSS.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy.
San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Pro Football Pick'em giveaway is back. Head to USASportsStar.com and pick the winners of each pro football game every week to earn points for each correct pick. Highest points each week wins a $25 gift card to Mellow Mushroom. Highest points overall scores $1,000 worth of tickets from A Awesome Tickets. Pick the winning ticket of every regular season game. Win the grand prize, $50,000. This is an audience national contest across multiple markets. The 50K Pro Football Giveaway. Register and win at SASportsStar.com. You're locked on The Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime!
Joining us now on the program is the producer of American Sports Story, the Aaron Hernandez Show on FX, which is coming up on its finale. This has been a really well-received show, and the producer is Stu Zickerman. Stu, how are you, man?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
I'm curious about this show, and I mean, obviously, it came after the big documentary. How's it being received as a dramatization after the documentary came out? Because I think of this, like OJ did the same thing. There was like a big documentary came out, and then there was a big dramatization that came out right around the same time. Are people constantly comparing the two, and how have you dealt with that?
I think people have just been more surprised. We were sort of working off of some new information that came out after the documentary, stuff that was based on from the Spotlight team at the Boston Globe. And I think that the reason you make a show like this is that you can fill in some of the gaps that like a documentary can't, right? So documentaries can speculate about, what may have happened. They can say like, Belichick met with, Hernandez. Hernandez went to ask Belichick for a trade, but we can sort of fill in the blanks. We can go into the room and show the actual scene. They can speculate about why Hernandez may have killed Odin Lloyd. We, based on the information that we have, can sort of like take a stance on it and actually show the scene and take the audience there. So I think you're talking really about in a way, two completely different genres.
Now, when you guys went about casting, and Josh Andres Rivera has been the star of this show, the Aaron Hernandez character, like how important was the physical appearance? How important was the chops? I guess how did you guys go about casting? Because I've never seen this guy before, but he seems like he does pretty good, Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah, well, I mean, when I was writing the pilot, this was one of those things I was writing. I was like, oh man, I'm never going to find the right guy to play this, And luckily, Josh's tape showed up. His audition tape showed up. One of our producers had been working on the Hunger Games with him in Berlin, and she says, "I think I got the guy." And again, we're not trying to make like an actual sort of biopic. We're trying to sort of, make a dramatization. And I think that you're looking for somebody that resembles, but it doesn't need to be an absolute ringer, because you're looking to invest the audience in the character. Like you're hoping that by the middle of the first episode, they've forgotten what the real Aaron looks like, and they're just watching this guy because they're invested. And so then it comes down to chops. And Josh just had such remarkable range, not just to play the anger and the violence and some of the obvious stuff, but to play the complexity and the emotion and the goofballness, that Aaron was. The real Aaron was, by all descriptions as a kid, he was a goofball, and he was sensitive, and he was funny, and he was troubled, and so how do you find a guy that can play all those things? And I think that Josh was able to bring that for us, in a major way.
And not only Josh, but you guys have Patrick Schwarzenegger playing Tim Tebow in this series. I've seen him a couple of times. How do you come across Arnold Schwarzenegger's son to play Tim Tebow? Like, how does that decision come to be?
It's always great. The casting directors will send you like a list. They'll send you some tapes, or they'll send you some auditions. And I saw Patrick's name come across, and I'd seen him do some stuff, and I thought he bore some resemblance to Tebow. Tebow's actually a hard physical specimen to match.
For sure.
He's a very unique specimen. But again, I really wanted to do an episode about religion, and religion in sports, and how certain athletes really take solace and find salvation in religion. And Patrick was able to sort of encapsulate the spiritual side of Tebow really, really well. And also, I think that Tebow is one of those sort of I think he's actually really, really genuine in his belief. He really, really believes it. He wants to share it and spread it, not for any other reason, that he really, really believes in it. And so there's an earnestness to that I thought Patrick did really well. But we were just so lucky that he was available, and he's a real rising star. He's going to be in the next White Lotus. It was a real stroke of luck that he was available.
I don't know exactly how to word this question appropriately, but like when I saw the documentary, obviously the homosexuality stuff played a role in the documentary thing. It seems to like in the dramatization in what you guys are doing, it feels like it's playing a much bigger role. At least it was early in the scene, like almost to where this is like what led him, his frustration over his sexuality is kind of what led him to do this stuff. Is that creative liberties you guys are taking, or is it when you talk about some of the new stuff that you guys discovered, like did you discover that played more of a role than was originally thought?
Well, I mean, first of all, Aaron never actually identified as a homosexual. He only identified as heterosexual. But we know from a lot of the research that he had affairs with men and women. And I think that from the research, we sort of were able to sort of decide for ourselves that Aaron's story was a struggle about identity, about who he was and wanted to be, and this sort of like a search for his own identity and authenticity in a world where he was not allowed to be anything but a man, like the classic definition of an athlete. And so, we've efforted through 10 episodes to not say that his sexuality was the reason that he became a killer. I think that we've identified 5 or 6 reasons, but that struggle, that search for identity, and the enormous number of secrets that he kept became like a real psychic bear for him, and certainly was part of the equation. I think that led him to sort of the sort of rage he felt in his life.
Stu Zickerman joining us here on the Morning Huddle. He is the creator and producer of American Sports Story, Aaron Hernandez. Kind of focused on the rise and fall of Aaron Hernandez, obviously. The final episode coming up on Tuesday, 9 o'clock Central Time here. Do you guys have, do you personally, as you're kind of the brain behind this thing, do you have a plan for your next project? Did this spark something in you that's got you interested in something else?
It's just got me really interested. I mean, this sparked for me just big ideas about how we as people are not born as any one thing, And I think that like in our modern day culture and in the news cycle and that we tend to like very quickly label things as something. Hernandez has always been sort of considered a monster, a killer, a monster. But once I got into the story and I really started, and that's how I knew him because I'm a sports fan, right? But once I got into the story, or once you get into any story, right, like you really, really can find like that no one's born, no one's born a killer, no one's born a murderer, no one's born a monster, right? And they become that. And I think that like this show, working on this show for the better part of 4 years, has really sort of made me interested in stories about people that are surprising, where you may think one thing, but you don't. You may think one thing, but it's not.
It's not as cut and dry as you think. Yeah. That
exactly,
is Stu Zickerman, the creator of American Sports Story, Aaron Hernandez. Appreciate the time and looking forward to the finale on Tuesday. Enjoy your moment, your grand finale of all your hard work. We've all appreciated it and appreciate you taking the time today, man.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, the Cowboys taking on the Eagles on Sunday. Will Trey Lance get an opportunity in this game? We'll talk to John Machota with The Athletic. He's coming up at 5:15.
Plus, we'll look at Texans and Lions on Sunday Night Football and college football on Saturday. Longhorns with a big game against Florida.
The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Looks like a new trouble spot on the northwest side on I-10 westbound at Medical. That's a disabled vehicle. It's off to the shoulder. 410 southbound, the on-ramp from Houston Street, east side of town. That entrance ramp closed with road work. And ongoing road work, I-10 upper level eastbound, Woodlawn to Frio Street. That's got the roadway reduced to just one lane. Now, if you guys see something we're not talking about, call us on that traffic tip line, 210-785-2601. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA. Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Insurance offers a great price and round-the-clock protection when bundling home and auto. It's one of those rare times where you could save money and get something great. Bundle today at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
Hey, pet parents. With Progressive's collision coverage, you get extra protection for your cat or dog, because there's nothing worse than seeing your pet hurt. Like when you see their face after accidentally stepping on their tail, and you say, "I'm so sorry, Mr. Pickles." But as you kiss his nose and rub his little belly welly, you know Mr. Pickles is thinking, "You betrayed me." Anywho, Progressive pays up to $1,000 in vet bills if your pet is injured in an auto accident. Learn more at Progressive.com and watch where you step. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Collision coverage subject to policy terms. Not available in all states.
Let me ask you a question. Is your roof ready for anything? Well, Stevens Roofing, a locally owned company, has been serving our community for decades. Whether it's a commercial project or residential, or repairing your old roof, or maybe installing a new one, they've got you covered. And now Stevens offers solar. Stevens Solar Solutions can save you money and energy. Stevens Roofing, quality craftsmanship, solar solutions, and local expertise under one roof. Call 210-785-0994 or go to stevensroofing.net.
You know what makes every diamond unique and special are his 4 C's. Its cut, clarity, color, and carat weight. But do you know what makes Diamonds Direct special and unique? It's our own 4 C's. The first C, concept. Diamonds Direct has revolutionized jewelry shopping by eliminating middleman markups and giving you direct access to the world's finest diamonds straight from the diamond cutters. The second C, choice. Diamonds Direct's multi-million-dollar selection of precious diamonds is unparalleled. And with over 4,000 designer settings to choose from, you are empowered to make a decision that works for your style and taste. Third C, confidence. With a nationwide price guarantee, a free lifetime warranty, our unique 110% diamond upgrade policy, and our no-pressure, no-risk environment, you have total peace of mind. And the fourth C, community. Every year, we partner with local charities and nonprofits with significant donations of time, money, and jewelry to make this a better place for everyone. Diamonds Direct, as unique, as special, and as rare as every diamond in our showcase. Proud to call Alamo City home. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Hi there, I'm John O'Hurley. You know our pets are beloved family members. But sadly, though, there are so many dogs that get euthanized every day due to the lack of funding. To give them a chance at adoption, I invite you to support Puppy Food Bank. Thanks to generous donors like you, all of the food sent to pet shelters from Puppy Food Bank never comes with a bill. So please go to puppyfoodbank.org and make a generous, caring $15 donation every month. Your donation will absolutely save pet lives.
Can you dig it? Come into any Ewald Kubota dealer and dig the savings on the full line of Kubota excavators. Like 0%, 0 down for 48 months. Plus, save up to $10,000 off. Come see us. Kubota deals are here. Kubota deals are now.
Now through December 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
Thanksgiving season is the best. That's right, Mr. Turkey. Everyone loves this time of year. Just like Connecticut water softener customers love their Connecticut. Definitely. A Connecticut water softener is the best in the business. Yes, it does keep your feathers soft. Yes, your waddle smooth. And your wings, nah, those things are pretty useless. A Connecticut is a much different water softener compared to the other brands. There's no computer, nothing to plug in, and it runs on kinetic energy. You said it. For a limited time, receive a free K5 reverse osmosis drinking station when you buy a Connecticut water softener. A free drinking water system installed at your kitchen sink with the cleanest, best tasting water you've ever had. Mr. Turkey, you're pretty calm considering, you know. Well, on Thanksgiving, we eat turkey.
The last water softener you'll ever own. ConnecticutSA.com.
Choosing the right candidates for any office can be difficult.
My office has lots of drama.
I share my office. But no matter what kind of office you have, if you're hiring, you need ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology finds the most qualified candidates for your roles fast. So, for any kind of office.
I'm really going places in my office.
Count on ZipRecruiter to find the right candidates for it. Try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-583-5795.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-583-5795. That's 800-583-5795.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
See website for details. Bills Happen is not a lender and does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
Honey, the credit card bill came and we're maxed out.
Great. Maxed out cards, rent is due, bills are piling up. We just need some extra cash to help us get by for a few weeks.
We should do what my brother did. He went to billshappen.com and got $3,000 the next day.
With our bad credit, I don't think so.
Billshappen.com is different. They are one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with all credit types get up to $5,000.
I'm sure there's a lot of paperwork.
Nope, my brother said it was easy. He did it right from his phone.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan for up to $5,000 in minutes, and your cash can hit your bank account the next day. Bills Happen's lenders have millions of dollars to lend, regardless of your credit history.
Great news! I went to billshappen.com, and we will have our money as soon as tomorrow.
Wow, that is fast.
If you need extra cash, go to billshappen.com. That's billshappen.com. Billshappen.com.
George gets justice.
Hurt in a wreck? Get George. Hit by an 18-wheeler or commercial truck? Get George. Injured at work? Get George. When you're dealing with personal injury, you need to get George because George gets justice. I'm George Salinas, and my San Antonio-based firm has been recognized across the state of Texas and the United States. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com.
George gets justice. Getgeorge.com.
Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy goes one-on-one with the Morning Huddles, AJ and Rob, Friday mornings.
You invited Dak and Coop over to the house. What mama cooked?
She never disappoints.
Well, what was the meal? We're really curious.
Well, she had the local pizza, salads, pasta dish, chicken.
Mike McCarthy's unfiltered look at the Cowboys' upcoming game. Friday mornings at 6:45 and 9. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds on 94.1. San Antonio Sports Star.
This is Jason Minix from The Blitz. You're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Let's get wild.
Let's get wild. Go, 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 go.
You like that, Edwin? Edwin got wasted yesterday.
Still
Oh my gosh, he stumbled in this morning. He had a 5 o'clock shadow. He's usually clean shaven. He had a little beard going. He's a mess.
With one sock on.
I asked him what his dad thought about him drinking. He said he didn't tell him.
You can smell it on your breath, Edwin.
Yeah, he's not. He's like, I don't tell him. I'm not telling my dad. When I drink behind his back.
What have you been doing? Been drinking me, Dad.
I did it because of you,
Dad. See, kids today have no idea what I'm talking about.
That's funny though. I don't care if anybody gets that joke. That's a funny one. We'll talk to head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, Mike McCarthy, here in a moment. Dude, these conversations.
Yeah, it's like kind of a conversation when you go visit a friend of yours who's got a loved one in like the ICU.
Yeah, man, it's
like
hard
in the waiting room. So what do you talk about? The imminent pain and suffering that your friend's loved one is going through. Do we bring that up? Do we?
Well, I know it's
do we change the subject to kind of like, so how's the weather? How's the fam?
I know it sucked last week. But somehow it's worse now.
You think it could suck any worse?
Things are worse now than they were somehow.
Well, this is why I appreciate and love team sports. The reason that you get in it and you play it and you love to be around it is how you respond to adversity. The life lessons that you see applied on this macro scale, and you see a coach and a team that is just in it, that everything they have done has failed. Turn right, that went wrong. Turn left, went back, that went wrong. We've all been there, personally, professionally, with their family. You've all seen people that are just in it. No matter what they do, it ain't working out. And you just want to see, how do you bow up, plant your feet, and get out of it?
Yeah. Well, we'll see if Mike McCarthy's got any answers. The questions are getting tougher, though.
And, so much of it is out of your control. I mean,
it really
so much
is,
of it.
dude.
You're just hoping things kind of come together at the right moment and get that kind of kismet. But there is a few bright spots. There is some health, and Micah at least is practicing. I don't think there's an imminent return. I think everybody's focused on the Texans game for a return. Unfortunately, you have to get through Philly to do it.
But it's also, in the NFL, when you lose your quarterback, everything changes. I mean, the quarterback does so much, and there's a reason why these are the most important guys in football. There's a reason why they're paid the most. There's a reason. I mean, you can have a good backup, but you can't replace your quarterback if you've got a halfway decent one. There's about 15 good quarterbacks in the league. If you've got one of them, you can't afford to lose them.
This is a life vest with about a 4-hour lifespan. It'll keep you afloat for a little bit, but eventually the air is going to come out.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys have a life vest, one that's proven. They've gone into the water with it on before and got out feeling pretty good about themselves. So at the very worst, at least Plan B is a plan that they've gone and used before. What hinders them has become the way before, and here they sit. So at least those guys that have been around since 22, when this happened, that they had to go through the 5-game span, there's comfort. They know that he is capable. And really, at the end of the day, if you feel like the guy will do his job, you're going to do yours. There's a little bit of comfort to it.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get right to it. And joining us now on the program is the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys on the Buyers Barricade guest line, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. It's Coach Mike McCarthy. Good morning, Coach. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good morning.
Coach, we were just talking about this when, we've talked to you about a lot of injuries this season, and every week it's like, oh, how are you going to deal with this? How are you going to deal with this? But when it comes to losing your quarterback in this league, there's about 15 teams that know we've got our guy at quarterback. And when you have that guy, everything that you do is built around that guy. When you lose him, and you've got enough fires to put out, but when you lose Dak for the foreseeable future, I mean, how hard is it to just adjust everything you're doing while still trying to deal with the multiple other fires that are going on in the house?
I think, stating the obvious, the quarterback position, what it brings to our game, the importance of it, and that's a challenge that a number of teams go through every year, and now we're in it. But I really think it goes back to how you set up your operation, and I've always poured a lot of energy into the importance, the design, and the approach in the quarterback room. And I feel like we have an excellent one here, and Cooper is a big part of that. Even when Dak is the starter, and now it's his turn, and he's fully prepared. He has the confidence of everybody in the room, not just the players, but also the coaches. So I think it just goes back to how you train and how you operate every day, because it gives you a good opportunity to compete and win during these times.
Coach, what stands in the way often becomes the way, and as you have the quarterback that you're comfortable with, the way will be with Cooper. What is it about Cooper that stands out? What's the thing that you look forward to having him out there doing?
Cooper's super consistent. Has great command of the offense. He's very bright. He's played quarterback his whole life, so he really knows how to play the position, how to manage the game. His decision making. He doesn't take a lot of chances. So there's the level of consistency. Really comes from his discipline and how he plays the game.
third quarterback, Trey Lance, Jerry Jones came out and said that he expects that Trey Lance will be a part of this offense. How much Trey do you expect to insert? And is this something like where there's going to be packages, or are we talking about maybe it's going to almost look like a preseason game where we see a guy for a while and then, we might see a full drive of Trey Lance?
I'm playing to win the game. So I think, there's always a lot of ideas floating around. But, we have a game plan that was built off what we've been doing in the past. We're not here trying to, recreate the wheel. So, we're playing to win this game.
Speaking of the game coming up, got the Eagles coming in. You've had great success, at least at home, against Hurts and the Eagles. What have you done in the past that's been so effective against Hurts, and can it be duplicated again on Sunday?
Well, I think, anything with this football team, and, it's been this way since I've been here. I mean, everything with the Eagles offense really starts up front. They've been an exceptional team running the football. Clearly evident with 2020 through 2022, and I think last year they got away from it some. Threw the ball more than they, did in prior years. But it's they're really back to running it and running it very well. Saquon Barkley has made a huge impact to their run game, to their offense, to their football team. So, it's going to start with the run, and Jalen's, and he's part of that. Just his ability. He's dangerous. Big plays, important plays in the game. Situational offense. Account for him in the run game it's always been a challenge, and I think they're doing a really good job with that. And then you go, then you look at the perimeter. They got a dynamic perimeter. They got the tight end and two outstanding receivers too. This is a very, very talented offense.
Now, last week we talked about your two big frustrations this season, which were turnovers and penalties. You guys really cleaned up the turnovers last week. Clean game on that front, but the penalties continue to be an issue. Are those things equal in terms of importance in your mind? You tell your guys, hey, great job with the turnovers, but we still lose games because of penalties. Is one more important than the other in your mind?
I would say, yeah, clearly taking the ball secure is most important.
Sure.
That's probably the most important component of being successful, and the history of this game will reflect that. But yeah, taking care of the football, having a zero gives was important. Had the one takeaway, so one to turnover ratio. But yeah, the penalties, you have to look at it. The real punch in the gut with the penalties was the pre-snap penalties. And the majority of them stem from cadence and on the road, this the silent count cadence, and that's been we've been significantly better at home than on the road, and that's something we've put a tremendous amount of time in, so that has to come to fruition. But yeah, the pre-snap penalties are the ones you can't have them. You have to eliminate them. There's you're going to have some combative penalties. That's part of playing the game. If you don't have combative penalties, then you're not playing hard enough. So we got to really knuckle down on these pre-snap penalties.
Yeah, the omission and commission penalties. At home, you guys have been so good at home. Are you doing anything different? Are we acting as if it's just another home game? Are you acting like it's a roadie and putting people in hotels 2 days early? What do you do to break a mojo that it shouldn't even exist?
Yeah, we looked at tweak and adjust. Let's go back to when we didn't stay in a hotel. The first time we let the veterans sleep in their own beds. We went on a 2-year winning streak. So, that's what the facts tell you about scheduling. So, yeah, we're just looking to adjust some things during the week, emphasis-wise, and, hopefully it'll make a difference.
I won't name names, but, I know one of your former quarterbacks probably knows a shaman or some sort of voodoo wizard who could sage the house and just sort of get out all the negative vibes and just get you a fresh start if you want to call him. And just get a
down
reset
here in
in
South
that building.
Texas, we got a few. We could find a few that might be able to cast a spell or two to get things off the bar. If you need that kind of help, we're here for you.
Well, gosh, I appreciate that. I haven't given that any thought.
Well, we're going to need a lock of hair and a couple of eggs, but if you really want it, you're in.
Aaron has some ideas for you there.
A lock of hair and a couple of eggs. Okay,
well, I don't want to get into how it happens, Coach, but we can take care of some things.
I don't need to know. I don't need to know how to happen, as long as it happens.
Coach, as you guys get into some games here against rivals. Does your locker room perk up a little bit when they play the Eagles? You play the Texans after that. These are games that, I mean, every game in the NFL matters, but when the Cowboys play the Eagles, it just feels like it probably means more, especially the guys who have been around a little bit longer. I mean, I would assume you expect to get a real peak effort out of your guys this week.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a rival game. That's how we start the week. Talk about the series, the history of the series, and the importance of, these division games. And, and the Cowboys and Eagles has always been, knockdown, drag-out type games. So that's, that's what we expect. And the most important thing is the veterans, the players that have been here know. You just got to make sure the rookies, the first-year player, make sure they're engaged and totally, what the heck we're getting ready to go do and how we're going to do it.
Just as a fan, Coach, when you watch film of Saquon, have you seen anything like that short of Sanders? I mean, that a couple of plays last week are indicative of what he's done all season. And when you see a back like that who is as shifty, what's the first thing you tell your defenders to do? Is it to break down early, go for the ankle? What do you do?
Well, the biggest thing is you tackle to your contain. I mean, tackle to your leverage point. And yeah, and I do agree with your opinion on him. I think he's, I don't know if I've ever seen him play this well. When he came into the league, he made such a huge impact. But then he had the serious, he had the knee injury, and he's just playing with a whole different level of confidence right now. So, and they're feeding him. So, I mean, he had the big touchdown, catch on the chow route, the wheel route up in the end zone. So he's not only just doing it from the backfield, he's doing it coming out of the backfield too.
Those Pennsylvania boys, I'll tell you what.
Coach, it looks like about every key player leader on your team has an injury designation, from CD and Dak to Trayvon and Parsons and D-Law and Zach Martin. How many of those guys do you expect to play? And if they can't, I mean, who are the guys that you expect to step up as leadership on this team?
Well, I mean, D-Law, he's not ready yet. But,
right.
I think I see the other guys playing.
Okay, so you expect Micah to be out there this week?
Yes, I do.
And Bland?
Bland, I'm sorry. No, he's unless he has a great day today and practices tomorrow. So
were you talking about Kendricks?
No, he was talking about Diggs.
Oh, Diggs.
Yeah, he was talking about Diggs and CD.
Trayvon, Trayvon and CD and Micah have all practiced this week, and Zach has just been on a veteran day on Wednesday, so I see him going too.
All right, that is head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, Mike McCarthy. Coach, one more question before we go. If Dak, if this season is kind of over from a wins-loss standpoint, a playoff possibility standpoint, by the time Dak's ready to go, do you bring him back, or do you kind of say, all right, let's reset this Dak? You keep getting your body right and be prepared for the off season, or are you trying to get Dak back as soon as possible, even if the games are meaningless at that point?
I mean, honestly, it's way too early to have that conversation. I know he's continuing to get evaluations next week. So I think just like any injury with our players, you have to get all the information, and he needs to make the best decision for himself and for the long term. So that's really where the focus is.
All right, that is head coach Mike McCarthy, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. Coach, we appreciate the time, and we'll talk to you again next week. Good luck against the Eagles.
Best of luck.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
There you go. That's head coach Mike McCarthy. And, of course, all guests appear via the Buyers Barricade guest line. Buyers Barricades provides traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond, online at buyersbarricades.com. All right, we'll digest some of that on the other side. It is the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Riding the work with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. It's the Morning Huddle, KTFM Floresville. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning on 1604 westbound I-10 over to 281, a solid 30-minute commute. 1604 northbound I-10 up to 35, that's going to take you about 20 minutes. On 35 northbound, 1604 FM 1103, 6-8-minute ride. 281 southbound, 1604 to Wurzbach Parkway, that's about 5 minutes. On 90 eastbound, 151 over to I-10, 5-minute ride. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Insurance offers a great price and round-the-clock protection when bundling home and auto. It's one of those rare times where you could save money and get something great. Bundle today at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
The 149th Fighter Wing of the Texas Air National Guard is hiring both full and part-time positions with over 180 different career choices, including cyber, healthcare, communications, avionics, electronics, and more. The Texas Air National Guard offers a variety of ways you can serve. Earn education benefits that would cover tuition towards a bachelor's degree. To learn more, Google the 149th Fighter Wing. That's the 149th Fighter Wing of the Texas Air National Guard.
Smoky Moe's Texas Barbecue, the best neighborhood barbecue in San Antonio, is now taking orders for Thanksgiving smoked turkeys and holiday parties. Hurry, their whole smoked turkeys sell out every year. Order a freshly smoked, perfectly seasoned turkey and add their delicious side dishes for your best Thanksgiving dinner ever. Having a holiday party? Let Smoky Moe's bring the food. Choose from their classic Texas barbecue to their special holiday catering menu. Order now at SmokyMoe'sBBQ.com or call a Smoky Moe's near you. Smoky Moe's, the pit is lit.
Divorce is tough, but you have a choice. Do you want control of the process, or are you willing to let your spouse dictate the terms? If you're serious about safeguarding your assets during a divorce, then Barton & Associates is your law firm. As the owner of Barton & Associates, I will ensure my attorneys act swiftly and decisively to protect what's rightfully yours. Be in control of your divorce. Visit TexasDivorce.com or call 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-MILLION.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
If you're a man and you live in or around the San Antonio area, you need to listen to this message. Do you find yourself stressing about or even avoiding intimate moments? Do you find yourself thinking, is it going to work? Does your partner look at you and ask, is it me? Did I do something wrong? Do you get frustrated when things don't live up to their expectations? Men, you're not alone, and we have a solution. For over a decade, Mojo has delivered 100% guaranteed male performance results. Mojo truly works every single time. Guys, Mojo works when all other things fail, and its proprietary formula has helped thousands of men live their best lives again. Yeah! Mojo is 100% natural, blood pressure safe, diabetic friendly, and fast acting. And Mojo is now available in both spray and capsule formulas, exclusively at Pure Line Nutrition. Call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today at 210-494-2210. That's Pure Line Nutrition, 210-494-2210.
TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine is excited to announce a partnership that is revolutionizing access to care for orthopedic patients. The HURT app provides free 24/7 access to orthopedic expertise. HURT is the app to have before you need it. Don't wait for an injury to happen. Download HURT now for free, fast virtual access to orthopedic specialists. The HURT app is available online in the App Store and Google Play. Learn more about the HURT app and the OrthoNow Injury Clinic at TSAOG.com.
Thanksgiving season is the best. That's right, Mr. Turkey. Everyone loves this time of year. Just like Connecticut water softener customers love their Connecticut. Definitely. A Connecticut water softener is the best in the business. Yes, it does keep your feathers soft. Yes, your waddle smooth. And your wings, nah, those things are pretty useless. A Connecticut is a much different water softener compared to the other brands. There's no computer, nothing to plug in, and it runs on kinetic energy. You said it. For a limited time, receive a free K5 reverse osmosis drinking station when you buy a Connecticut water softener. A free drinking water system installed at your kitchen sink with the cleanest, best tasting water you've ever had. Mr. Turkey, you're pretty calm considering, you know. Well, on Thanksgiving, we eat turkey.
The last water softener you'll ever own. Connecticut. SA.com.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
The San Antonio Spurs took down the Portland Trailblazers last night, 118-105. 8 players in double figures, paced by Keldon and Malachi, 17 apiece off the bench. The Baltimore Ravens held off the Cincinnati Bengals 35-34 as the Bengals went for 2 at the end of the game and failed. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hour number 2 of the Morning Huddle, 94.1. I see him on TV. They were asking, I didn't see this last night. They asked Jamar Chase, were you an option on the 2-point conversion? Damn sure should have been. Like they kept pointing out, they got him one-on-one at the top. Got him one-on-one.
Which, on its face, is nuts.
That is crazy.
What? He single-handedly got him all the way down there, and you left him single-covered on the top. And luckily they didn't choose him, or Joe chose him.
Well, luckily for the Ravens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you're going to go down, I'd go down throwing it towards number 1. I'm pretty sure. But
I said earlier, man, if you asked me, I want you to go in and design your wide receiver. Just from, you can print him up. You can go iRobot on this. It would look a lot like Jamar Chase.
Yeah, I mean, he's a tough one to beat. And the Bengals have, like, I remember when the Bengals had A.J. Green, and I was like, this dude looks like he was built in a lab. He's like 6'4", 6'5". I mean, they find the right dudes. And finally, they've got a quarterback to go with him.
and we're going to give them flowers all day, but obviously they're flawed.
Sure, man.
They're a flawed football team, but it's not a singular giant flaw. It's just a bunch of little things that they were able to hide before, and now they can't. You know, the defense is good, ain't great. They don't do anything in particular well. I didn't see, again, the first half. I just saw the fun part of the game. But it doesn't seem like whatever they had, which was good enough, and then Burrow and Chase and running game that now is basically gone, was enough to kind of carry it over. Now it's just not enough. And
well, their running game is that short dink and dunk stuff to Chase Brown.
But they're the worst bad team or the best.
They're the best bad team or the worst good team.
One or the other, but they're right there. And I think they're stuck there. That might be enough to get to the playoffs, but there's just enough for you to go, well, you're nearly there. And I can't tell if this is a team that's in its ascension. Are they still getting better and rising, for years to come? They've still got opportunity. Or are they declining? Did they peak so quickly that now they're losing pieces and parts and it's just not going to be enough? I can't figure out what they are right now.
They're on that borderline. And last year, it was the Green Bay Packers were in that boat. And the Seattle Seahawks were in that boat. It's like, I can't tell if this team is good or not. But remember, the Bengals were 9-8 a year ago.
Yeah,
and that was without Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
So that the talent is there. If they can go 9-8 without Joe Burrow, I mean, they missed the playoffs, but they were still 9-8. I think 9-8 this year would get them into the playoffs, but obviously, sitting at 4-6, that's an uphill battle at this point. But as long as Joe Burrow is out there, they got a chance. I still think they are going to look back at Week 1 when they lost to the New England Patriots and go, "How the hell did that happen?" Because every other loss, you can go, "Okay, their other losses: Chiefs, Commanders, Ravens, Eagles, Ravens." Not a bad loss in the bunch, but that Patriots loss is such a head scratcher that it's like that might be what keeps you out of the playoffs.
And if it is that, deservedly so.
Yep.
If you end up because you didn't get to the playoffs because you lost to the Patriots, I don't care if it's week 1 or 17, you don't deserve to be there because they're as bad a team as there is in football.
But here's what I like about what's coming up for the Bengals. The rest of their schedule, they are better than or equal to every team that they're playing. And most of the teams that they're playing are teams that are vying for the same playoff spot that they are.
Mm-hmm.
Chargers, Steelers twice, Broncos, and then their other 3 games are Cowboys, Titans, Browns, which are all corpse teams. So there's still hay to be made for this team. They're through the worst part of their schedule, and the teams, the good teams that they play, they can directly take their spots.
But I will say, anytime you start looking at your team, and you know you're good enough, but you need help. You need both health on your side and opportunity, some turnovers and things, but you need help from other teams to beat other teams. When you start getting into that situation, you're already sludging uphill. It's already,
no doubt. Well, and 4-6 tells you they're sludging uphill.
Got it. And the thing is, they're going to have to do it for so long.
Yep.
They're going to have to get prolonged hot and then stay lucky. And that's just such a difficult. There's one team that does it every year. They just hope they're that one team.
And remember, supposedly, you assume now they've got a long week. They don't play again until Sunday Night Football next week against the Chargers. So you get Thursday into Sunday night. That's about as good of a half bye week as you can get. You assume T. Higgins comes back.
Yeah.
And you're talking about the second best player on your offense has been gone the last couple weeks. That'd be a nice addition. But this was really a kick in the balls loss for them. No doubt about it. Mike McCarthy just joined us courtesy of AA Best Bail Bonds and gave us a little bit of news.
Yeah, we broke a little bit.
Yeah, Micah Parsons, he says he expects him to play this weekend. That's good news. He does expect C.D. Lamb to play. There were some questions about that. He liked the way he looked at practice yesterday.
And Zach Martin just took the day off
of a vet rest day.
He got an old man day off, evidently.
Maybe he looks like an
old
old man right
now.
now.
That every now and again. Just take your old man day.
Yeah, I wish that was available to me.
Some Flomax and Metamucil. We'll see you tomorrow.
But Zach Martin, if anybody needs an old man day right now, it's Zach Martin.
You know, the thing is, what sucks? The thing about football is, he's been such a stud.
Right.
That now as he declines, people are enjoying whipping his ass. It's like they finally are getting a chance to put it on him, and he's getting a whooping, man. He's taking a beating this year.
It sucks, man. The pro sports in general, knowing when to be done is the hardest thing because you can go from being Zach Martin is maybe a Hall of Famer.
Not maybe. He's a
lock.
Lock. First ballot lock.
Well,
4-time All-Pro, not Pro Bowler, All-Pro.
Cowboys generally don't get in on the first ballot. Let's remember that.
Yeah, they're not popular. They're not. Well, he's the only Hall of Famer on this roster right now.
I agree with that. But the idea that a year ago you couldn't have said a bad word about the guy, and just 1 year later we're talking about him as like a weak link on a bad offensive line. It's crazy how fast it comes at you, man.
The slow lion gets kicked by the buffalo. You're still a lion, but they're the ones that go out quick, and it's always a violent end.
It's one of those, like, I always think about Chuck Liddell, and God, please don't fight again, Chuck Liddell. Please, and you start to feel sorry for him, and it's like, oh.
Well, we were joking about Zach. Last year when that sudden holdout happened right there at training camp, I think he and his agent were talking like, hey, man, I'm not feeling I got about a year left. I'm going to get everything I can right now.
Yeah. Can it all be guaranteed? Can I get one of those Deshaun contracts? It don't have to be Deshaun money, but just give me 100% of it.
And Zach got it, too.
Well, that is a struggle right now. But listen, man, the Cowboys, this is kind of the last stand. This is them. Their backs are against the wall. And the good news for them is now there's no expectations anymore.
Exactly. And there's a resolute, you can kind of tell by the interviews yesterday, we'll have sound all day. There's a resolute, this is what it is. There's this stoic reaction. We can't affect the situation. We can only affect our attitude about it. And I think they're kind of heading into it, knowing full well this is probably the end for a lot of things, including your quarterback for the year. You ask a very pointed question. And I think the answer will be, what's the point when he does finally get back, in December?
I think so, too. I would
that rough Thanksgiving 3 games and 10-day kind of thing.
I think we've seen the last of Dak Prescott this season.
Right. And then, and then you start thinking about the future of the coach at McCarthy. How much does he need Dak to save himself if that's the case? Or how much does he need to develop this guy or play this guy to keep everybody and keep his job? Or does he even want to come back to this thing? All this is going to start playing in. And you kind of hear it in Coach's voice. You know what? It is what it is. Act like you're dead and make it easy.
I had a couple things written down to ask him about. I asked him about one of the 4 things I had written down. I meant to ask him about Johnny Mingo. Didn't get that one in.
What was he going to say? Yeah, we're glad to have him.
I meant to ask him about Zeke and if we expected to see him like fully reintroduced or what this week. And then I meant to ask him about the tablet, if he was going to get a sponsorship from some sort of like OtterBox or something that like a phone protector, a tablet protector.
He'd taken a bunch of abuse for that all week, so I'm sure he'd enjoyed that.
He wouldn't have liked to joke about it.
I think the Microsoft endorsement, you don't want to piss off Microsoft,
Right.
Like, no, I didn't break it all. It was fine.
Or
maybe
maybe if he's out of a job this offseason, he can get a job doing Apple commercials, iPad commercials, and like
these surfaces
it'll
suck.
show him slamming that surface, and then he shows him with an iPad, and he's very happy.
But I think Apple's all in on soccer, so he'd have to be like Ted Lasso. He could go ahead and take over.
Do that.
He could take over a football team.
Maybe
in the
he could
truest
do that.
sense with a U.
Damn you, Microsoft! And then
how you like my iPad?
What a great device. I mean, listen, if you need the money,
MacBook Air.
All right. When we come back, let's start getting into this weekend in the NFL. I guess we can address this Cowboys Eagles game, some of the matchups, and then at 7:30 we'll take a look around the rest of the league, see what's going on. But plenty of NFL to talk, plenty of college football to talk. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1. I got to tell you about Underdog. I had a winner last night. Winner, chicken dinner, baby. Joe Burrow, higher completions. Derrick Henry to score a touchdown. Yes. Boom. That one happened. Jamar Chase over 84.5 yards. Yeah, that could have been higher than like 184.5. I still would have been money. And I went in, and this is the key. I said Evan McPherson, higher than 2.5 extra points made. If I thought the Bengals offense was going to do good, why not boost it up with those kicker points? Did it, hit it. Let's get that money, baby. 5-1 on my cash. Love it. And Underdog puts that power in your hands, man. If you've got and if you lose one, they've got this flex option. So if you lose one of those 4, you can still get money back. You might make not quite as much as if you win them all, but you'll get your cash back. That's a good thing, man. And Underdog right now, they're running a special, a promo, or a bonus basically every single day. Profit boost, discounts, free picks. They had the 50% profit boost last night on the NFL stuff. I think they've got the 50% NFL thing going for this weekend too. I'm going to hit that bad boy up. Download the app, sign up with promo code Alamo, deposit now to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. Plus, all new users are going to get a free pick, just like that. I mean, what are you waiting for? That's promo code Alamo. Must be 18 or older. Present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy goes one-on-one with the Morning Huddles, AJ and Rob, Friday mornings.
I have to ask the sun. At some point, is that ever going to be addressed?
Talking about it
in the stadium, the 325 sundial effect. It just seems something that we can fix. Let's put some curtains up.
Okay, noted.
Mike McCarthy's unfiltered look at the Cowboys' upcoming game. Friday mornings at 6:45 and 9. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds on 94.1. San Antonio's Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
You know what deer season is, JD?
Yes.
Do you know why it's deer season?
No.
It's because they go in the rut. People sight their guns in for 100 yards, 200 yards, some 300 yards. Crazy shots, right? But in the rut at the right time, you could hit them with a brick.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
What's with the outfit, Nigel?
This is my hunting attire, complete with my bright red jacket, hunting horn.
Whoa, Nigel. Hunting is a little different here in Texas.
And like hunting, plumbing, heating, and air conditioner repairs are all about skill and having the right equipment.
And all our Quarter Moon technicians with a fleet of fully stocked trucks know what to do when plumbing, heat, and AC issues pop up out of nowhere. Where'd you go?
I can't get my horse down from the deer blind.
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, 651-5899.
License number TNCLA 1410740 and 16004.
Joe Reinagle here for the Golf Club of Texas, open to the public 7 days a week with a country club feel. It's football season, so book your tee times early at golfclubtexas.com and stick around and watch the games. Make Golf Club of Texas your football headquarters where you can watch every game. They'll even stay open until the end of every NFL game, including Thursday, Sunday, and Monday nights. Get into the Tin Cup Bar at the Golf Club of Texas, Highway 90 at Briggs Ranch Road. Golf Club of Texas, the friendliest golf course in Texas.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code YEAR to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code YEAR for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code YEAR for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Are you a chronic interrupter? Incapable of letting other people talk? Do those people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should go to Mattress Firm. They have a 120-night sleep trial, so you can get your money back if a bed's not right. That way, anyone, even someone like you, can sleep. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
George Gets Justice. When you've been injured, you need to get George Salinas Injury Lawyers because you need someone who understands your pain and the impact an accident has on your life. You need someone who listens and is always there fighting for you and your future. When you get George Salinas Injury Lawyers, you get all this and more. If you've been injured, it's time to get George. And remember, you won't pay anything unless they win your case. Call George Salinas at 210-225-0909. George Gets Justice. GetGeorge.com.
Time to start planning your Thanksgiving dinner, and that starts with the turkey. And the best turkeys are from Tri-County Meat Market. Tri-County gets their turkeys from Barber Farms in Colorado. These fresh, all-natural turkeys are never frozen and come between 8 and 24 pounds. Tri-County Meat Market only gets a limited number, so reserve your turkey before they sell out. Pre-order your turkeys and your pies from the Ultimate Cheesecake Bakery now at either Tri-County Meat Market location on Huebner Road or on Welfare Road.
Lowe's honors our military community this Veterans Day and every day. To say thank you, verified military members, veterans, and their spouses get 10% off everyday purchases, plus free silver key status with My Lowe's Rewards. It's our way of showing our gratitude to the brave people who have and continue to serve our country. Learn more now at lowes.com/military. 10% discount can't be combined with another offer. Exclusions, terms, and conditions apply. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Let's see, is Veterans Day a federal holiday?
Well, it better be. I bet by the end of the next 4 years it will be.
Yeah, I guess it is. It says it is.
Yeah. We're just not taking it.
We're not taking it off.
We will be employed. We'll remain employed. We will just be at work at the same time.
We hope to be employed.
Yeah, well,
we do work in radio.
Given the industry we're in, and
if you've seen anything lately,
a lot of good friends out there. Hey, Tony, we're thinking of you.
If you like this little show, please support our sponsors. Please tell your friends about our show. Help our ratings out.
Please.
Actually, you know what? Also help out the Blitz's ratings. They need it more than us.
Well, we all need it. One way or the other.
But we can all use a bump.
Yeah,
I mean, we won't pass on ratings.
Tell a
but,
friend.
But give them some, too. We want to keep those guys around also. We got to decide after the show on Monday. I'm guessing our guy Jimmy, he's not a vet, is he?
No, he is not.
What a loser.
We are, though.
Yeah, so
this show is entirely vet staffed.
Except Edwin.
Well, he's yeah.
Not entirely.
Not entirely, but
can you imagine Edwin at basic training?
I can.
I can't.
I can't.
He would fit right in the Air Force.
No. Oh yeah, he would.
Oh,
maybe in the Air Force. I'm telling you right now, that dude at Fort Benning, Georgia, he wouldn't last.
Hey man,
no, the Great Lakes. No,
I'm Air Force. It was tough, man. You know how hard it is to get off work in time for your morning tea. You know, to get
it
there.
was only 6 weeks
our
long.
Morning.
The first time Edwin talked to a drill sergeant and shook his head no while he was saying yes. Oh, that'd be the end of him, Bubba.
Push-up city.
That'd be the end of him. But what we got to do is decide where we're going to go get our meal, either our free
meal
or cheap meal.
My problem is I just separated. I didn't retire. I just separated. So I don't have I have a DD-214 someplace, but I don't.
Oh yeah.
I don't carry it around.
You better carry it with you on Monday.
I don't have the proof that allows me to say that I'm a veteran. Other than I think it might be on my driver's license now. Does it?
Does it say it on your license?
It might.
You better check. So here's my thinking, boys.
Okay.
Maybe a place like Fogo de Chão.
Oh, do they do that?
They do 50% off for vets on Veterans Day.
Didn't know that.
And 10% off for guests of veterans. So if we want, Jimmy and Edwin to come along, we can at least say, hey, you guys, good news. I'm going to get you 10% off your lunch today. What do you think, Rob? You got
a nice thing. I don't know.
I think that star in the top right
Doesn't
corner.
That star say I was
think
military?
You're a veteran. You might want to bring your DD-214 just in case.
See, I'd go dig that thing out.
But listen, anything to save $40, right?
It's truth. Truth. I think there should be people standing at the door buying our lunch.
I think so too. So I do think we should do a group dinner or a group lunch on Monday after the show. And
we're in. We'll figure out where we do it. Yeah, absolutely. Let's go celebrate Veterans Day.
Okay.
Yeah.
And well,
that's awesome.
Since we got to work anyway,
yeah,
I'll go get a good meal out of it. So Vic, save up your. It's all meat though. If we went to a place like that, right? You can eat all the meat you want.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm all about that.
Don't eat a bunch of berries and crap and fill up on that stuff. And when we get there,
I have to eat some little small salad.
I don't want you wasting room on the salad bar. That's a rookie move.
It's not a rookie move. That salad bar is fantastic.
No. Yeah. And when they come around and they say, would you like some bacon wrapped chicken? That's how they fool you. They serve chicken, but it's wrapped in bacon. You're like, oh, bacon wrapped. I got to say yes to that.
Right.
Don't.
Yeah.
You got to. The way to get your money's worth is to eat the cow, lamb.
Yep.
That's the money meats.
Yeah.
See,
don't eat the chicken. Don't eat the sausage.
I'm about the whole experience.
And they're like, "Oh, would you like some Brazilian sausage?" And you're
yes.
like, "No." And you go,
say yes.
No. You say
yes.
People say, I wonder how Brazilian sausage is different.
And you know what? Here's the other one.
It's
Just
sausage.
keep flipping that coin over. Just flip it over. I don't care what you bring and put it on my plate. You want some more of this? Yes, I do, as a matter of fact. I want some of that, too.
And what I like to do, so I make sure I get the freshest of meats, I say, I like my meats rare.
Oh, yeah.
And that way, they're not bringing you out the one because
usually at the top of what they're cutting.
Most people, what they do is they try to serve it medium because that's like what most people eat, I guess, which is ridiculous. Like you want your meat
I have to eat medium. I can't eat it too raw.
That's burnt up. Medium's already burnt. But if you say I want it rare, they'll come out with this special skewer, and that's when you get the fresh stuff.
Yeah, but you almost like them blue.
I do.
I know. I can't eat it that rare.
I don't eat my
I'm
stuff
a carnivore, but I'm not an animal.
I'm like a lion, Rob. Like you tell me, I'm like a lion.
No,
I like to leave with blood on in my beard and on the collar of my collared shirt that I gotta wear.
I get it. I get the allure. I just can't. I can't.
Have you ever tried it? Or
I have. I get it.
The appearance of it is too much.
Flavor. I just can't eat the bloody mess that it is. I mean, it's just it's a crime scene. I just can't get there.
I can't eat it. Kidney won't allow it.
It's a little pink in the middle, a little juice on.
It's got to be cooked. That's why I like it medium.
It's done, not medium. I'm a rare, medium rarish, but I can't go blue.
Medium.
Let you go blue, man. You've crossed the line.
Well, I don't eat blue at a place like that. I eat it.
I get it, but a well-made blue steak, I get it. I understand why you would the appeal. It's just not for me.
Yeah. Well, Monday we'll be celebrating, and we'll be full of meat. And you know what? Edwin can come. He can get 10% off as long as he thanks us for our service. That's all. He has to say it in front of the waiter.
In front of all of us.
And Jimmy, the same thing. Jimmy over at the news station who comes and eats lunch with us, he can come too. Mm-hmm. But he has to thank us for our service when the bill comes because he's going to save 10% just by hanging out with us vets.
He's going to have to stand up.
Because while none of us took a bullet,
no,
Vic did lose a kidney in the war.
Yeah.
And
I lost a little bit of hearing and a lot of. Well,
yeah.
I broke my feet jumping out of planes. I got a bum knee, bum shoulder. Army did a lot of dumb stuff to me, but so they've got to thank us. And they
lost a lot of good men out there.
But and lost Vic's kidney.
Vic's
kidney's out.
Lost a lot of good organs out there.
It's in a jar somewhere.
In the desert.
Yeah.
That kidney. Yeah. So some Afghani soldier cut it right out of Vic and said, "I'm taking this kidney with me."
They swam in the ocean and came and got it.
Vic woke up in a Syrian bathtub with one kidney. Going, where the hell's my kidney?
That was he had met a girl the night before. That was a whole other story.
Yeah.
Well, some gave all and all gave some.
All right. So this Cowboys game against the Eagles, I mean, what kind of hope do you have that the Cowboys can compete here?
A fair amount. They have at home against division rivals. They're pretty damn good. I mean, look at the numbers. Good, bad, up years, down years. At home against division rivals, for whatever reason, they've been pretty consistently good. They've had whether it was Dan Quinn or administrations prior to that, the Cowboys' defense has done pretty well against the Philly offense. So they have a puncher's chance. But this is a very different Philadelphia team than anything they've played against. This is not about the edges and A.J. Brown, and that is about Saquon between the tackles, and they've never had to deal with that. So they have a puncher's chance, but let's be realistic. They just don't got enough of Jimmys to go against their Joes.
Man, you got to I think the best chance that they have is if A.J. Brown just doesn't play. A.J. Brown is such a monster right now.
Yes.
Like, when you talk about the best receivers in the league, you talk about Jamar Chase. A.J. Brown's in that conversation,
and if
certainly.
It was just that, if you just went in and go, those wide receivers are as hot as anything right now, you go, well, maybe there's a chance of shutting them down or creating a turnover or two. But that's not how they're winning. They're winning between the tackles. And the Cowboys aren't pulling fumbles, and worse than that, they're not making tackles. The yards after contact on the Cowboy defense, I don't know what the numbers are. If they're not last, they're real close. They don't complete the tackle.
The Dallas Cowboys, the last time they lost a home game in division was Thanksgiving 2020. Against Washington.
That's nuts, right? I mean,
it is pretty nuts. And if you want to take it back even further, that is the only home division game that they have lost. I mean,
since McCarthy got here.
It might
he got here in 20.
No. Yeah. The last so that 2020 one, or the loss on Thanksgiving in 2020, that was the first and only home loss in division since 2017 when they lost to the Eagles.
See, that's what I was telling the coach. It doesn't matter the administration. It doesn't matter the coach. It doesn't matter the players. The Cowboys win at home against their division teams. I don't know why. And even more so, the success rate against Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia has been ridiculous. Not only do they beat them soundly. Lots of different reasons. Every game's a vacuum, but there's something about the Cowboys at home. Now, we throw all that out. That's the season began after the ass whooping that was delivered by the Saints.
Well, and this is the worst Cowboys team we've seen in some time.
So there's a lot of things that have changed, but at least if you're on the team, if you're on the staff, you go, well, we've done this before, and it really didn't seem to matter. The manpower, the records, we just seem to be better against them at home.
I think if I were betting this game, I'd have to take Cowboys plus 7.5. It just feels like too big of a number.
The resoluteness of and again, Philadelphia, while they look pretty devastating, they've got issues. They've got coaching and leadership issues that have to be addressed, and they've overcome those with superior individual play. But there's still some questions with Philly that can be exposed. And when you're riding high like they are, they're winning games. Those issues don't always get addressed.
All right, we'll talk the rest of the NFL on the other side. I got to tell you about Karbach Brewing, and man, I'm going to Houston this weekend. I might swing by the brewery, have myself a couple of Karbach while I'm there. Their food there is fantastic. If you're ever in town, stop by the brewery. They've got about 15 different beers on tap. Some stuff that will never ever see cans. It's just only brewery only. The only time you'll ever be able to try it, and some pretty unique stuff. But I know for a fact, like most weekends, I'm going to be crushing a few Crawford Box because that is my go-to everyday drinker from Karbach. When I go out to a bar here locally, first thing I ask, you got Crawford Box on tap? If you don't got it on tap, you got it in a can? Almost always a yes. You'd be surprised how many places have Karbach that you like. If you think, oh, they're not going to have that fancy beer. Karbach's not fancy beer. It's good quality beer is what it is, and it's all over the place. They have made a push into San Antonio. We had Eric on. He was talking about he loves San Antonio. He wanted San Antonio to be their next market after Houston. It's all over the state, but they push hard into San Antonio. Love Street's the best seller here. Their Cold-style blonde ale. Hopadillo is their flagship IPA, and, of course, that Crawford Bock, always available and always good. Next time you're out and about at a bar or a restaurant, next time you're at H-E-B, you're at the liquor store, you want something for the weekend, go ahead and pick yourself up some Karbach.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Looks like we do have a couple of stalls. I-10 eastbound Ralph Fair off to the shoulder, and another at 35 southbound Frostbank Center Drive. That stall off to the shoulder. Now, if you guys see something we're not talking about, do give us a call on the traffic tip line 210-785-2601. For the most part, all our major freeway systems still looking good and rolling at posted speeds. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. With Progressive Insurance, you can make sure your family is well taken care of with life insurance. Protect your phones, laptops, and more with electronic device insurance. And cover your furry friends with pet health insurance. Visit Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED. And it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
See website for details. Bills Happen is not a lender and does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
Honey, the credit card bill came and we're maxed out.
Great. Maxed out cards, rent is due, bills are piling up. We just need some extra cash to help us get by for a few weeks.
We should do what my brother did. He went to billshappen.com and got $3,000 the next day.
With our bad credit, I don't think so.
Billshappen.com is different. They are one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with all credit types get up to $5,000.
I'm sure there's a lot of paperwork.
Nope, my brother said it was easy. He did it right from his phone.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan for up to $5,000 in minutes, and your cash can hit your bank account the next day. Bills Happen's lenders have millions of dollars to lend, regardless of your credit history.
Great news! I went to billshappen.com, and we will have our money as soon as tomorrow.
Wow, that is fast.
If you need extra cash, go to billshappen.com. That's billshappen.com. Billshappen.com.
To understand what makes Diamonds Direct different, you have to understand our history. It goes back 60 years to a renowned diamond cutter overseas. From there came years of diamond cutting, manufacturing and wholesaling, supplying exquisite fine diamonds only to high-end jewelers. Then eventually the wholesalers started selling direct to the public, and that started a revolution. Today, we are a global diamond powerhouse with hundreds of thousands of customers and an impeccable reputation. But our core values are the same as always. Our diamonds are the highest quality cut by the best craftsmen. Our prices are the most compelling. Our selection is staggering. Our warranties and guarantees are rock solid. And our people are laser focused on helping you find the diamond of your dreams. So as the story unfolds, as the revolution continues, we invite you to experience a jewelry shopping experience unlike any other. Born in excellence, rooted in determination, and thriving in passion. Diamonds Direct. Showroom hours, directions, and more online at diamondsdirect.com. Proud to call Alamo City home. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Point.
Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
Oh, I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down.
Ace.
You're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
Choosing the right candidates for any office can be difficult.
My office has lots of drama.
I share my office. But no matter what kind of office you have, if you're hiring, you need ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology finds the most qualified candidates for your roles fast. So, for any kind of office,
I'm really going places in my office.
count on ZipRecruiter to find the right candidates for it. Try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this. If something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, the Cowboys taking on the Eagles on Sunday. Will Trey Lance get an opportunity in this game? We'll talk to John Machota with The Athletic. He's coming up at 5:15.
Plus, we'll look at Texans and Lions on Sunday Night Football and college football on Saturday. Longhorns with a big game against Florida.
The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, Jim Rome here, and back in the military city of San Antonio. Join me weekdays at noon, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Big week in the NFL. Week 10. Got off to a hell of a start last night. That's got to be the Thursday night game of the year. You ain't going to get much better than that.
I told my wife, watching Cincy drive, now they didn't complete the task, but that drive was the drive of the year. A minute and 48 against the Raven defense on the road, and they scored a touchdown to tie the game, or could have tied the game. That was as good as it could have been done between a quarterback and a wide receiver. Perfect, except for the outcome. You know, you get to be the lovable loser, that attaboy. Hey, you gave it your best shot if you didn't get it, but sucks.
Dude.
Sucks.
Imagine, I don't know how this happens, quite frankly. When you know there's only one guy that you've got to deal with from a receiver standpoint. Jamar Chase in 2 games this year against the Baltimore Ravens. 21 receptions, 457 yards receiving, and 5 touchdowns. That is 2 games against the Baltimore Ravens. 457 yards receiving in those 2 games. I don't know how you... the only other guy they threw to was like tight ends and the running backs. You got one guy to defend. And by the way, last night was a realization that I don't think the Ravens are a Super Bowl team. Their defense is not what it's been in the past. The Ravens, as we think of them, this isn't them. This is a pretty bad defensive team. I mean, they're good against the run, but the teams you're going to play in the playoffs, it's not going to matter.
That's a good question, though. Would you prefer to have the defense first, Lamar Jackson right, left, and in the middle, or would you rather have a slightly weaker defense, but now Zay Flowers and what's the other cat? Bateman and Andrews and Derrick Henry and a little bit more offense and a little bit less defense? I mean, realistically, because that other thing hadn't worked.
I mean, you're right.
I don't know, because this one's a little bit – you would have told me that Baltimore had a 7-point lead with 1 minute and 48 seconds to go and you were worried? I mean, it just didn't feel right last night, that the Raven team should be able to lock this team down, but they won the game with offense. It wasn't defense, and that's what this league is supposed to be. They're not as scary as they were, but maybe they are in a different way.
Maybe so, but I've seen this team lose to the Browns. I've seen them lose to the Raiders. They could have very easily lost that game last night. I mean, that's about as coin flippy as it gets. Imagine the Ravens lost the 2 coin flip games, because remember the first game against Cincinnati went to overtime. If they had lost those 2 games, the Ravens right now would be 5-5.
You're right.
We wouldn't be talking about the Ravens like they're some sort of juggernaut.
All I saw was the good Ravens last night.
If you watch the fourth quarter, you're like, holy
cow. I saw the fourth quarter, and I thought, this Raven team is looking pretty damn good, because everything worked.
If you watch the first 3 quarters, it was 21-7. They were doing nothing except getting their ass kicked. And you know what? That Lamar did some Lamar things. But a world where there's a quarterback throwing for 428 on the Ravens, that's just not what we're used to in life.
I figured the game was locked up. It's over. Are you kidding me? Ain't nobody going to move down and get a touchdown. Maybe a field goal, maybe, but not that. And the greatest fears were realized, and they didn't. Cincinnati didn't. They didn't get beat. They lost. There's a difference. They should have won that football game. They did everything that was required to do on the road, and they just didn't complete the task. And now Baltimore walks off and pats themselves on the back and says, but for this, but for that, we won a football game. But the fact is, Cincinnati was in a position to win the football game and didn't, and needed help, refs and all. So we feel good about Baltimore today, and as good as I feel about what I saw in the fourth quarter, you're right. They're not going to go to the Super Bowl, because that weakness is the one thing that they can't have.
Can't have it
against a guy like Mahomes. And
Mahomes
now it's not
or
just
Allen.
It's Allen. I'm
Yeah.
not talking about Mahomes. That's further down the road. I'm talking about the imminent threat is Josh Allen.
Stroud, and Joe Burrow, if they make it.
And what about Pittsburgh? Just added a wide receiver to a quarterback that might have a little bit of rebirth.
Pittsburgh's trash. Don't buy into that. They're trash. Couple questions from the Brigade Bar. Fred says, Hoffman, why don't you do play-by-play Friday Night Football with Minix? I don't do Friday night play-by-play because they, for whatever reason, they frown upon it when you bring alcohol to high school football games. And Friday night's my drinking night. So
that is are you kidding? That's Jason's love.
Yeah, it's not. Jason and I are very different in our opinions of how much we care about things like high school football.
But you've done it.
I did, and I hated it.
You've done it and probably good at it. I've done it and I'm terrible at it.
Really?
No, I don't. I'm not good at it.
I was pretty decent at it, but I just don't. My problem, I kept getting in trouble because you're apparently not allowed to be totally honest when kids suck at football, and I was probably too honest about like, what was that throw? What is he thinking? But it's not for me. Tony asks, so is Burrow good, or is he good because of his weapons like Brock Purdy?
He's good.
Joe Burrow, like Brock Purdy's not even in the same stratosphere as Joe Burrow. And when you say his weapons, he had one guy. He's got one guy.
Well, he's got a good guy.
He's very
really
good.
Guy,
but I mean, Brock Purdy's got like 5 really good guys.
No, I think there's no hesitation, and no one will disagree with the fact that he's a top 5 quarterback.
And
will
Joe
win
Burrow's got a
done.
dopey coach. Like Joe Burrow's overcoming a lot. Let's face it.
But I do think some of this is he does need to mature just a little bit. I think there's some activities that as a quarterback he needs to kind of polish up. But other than that, no, he's a winner. I'm
becoming a Joe Burrow fan. Like I like him more and more. And part of me, I think part of why I like him is because he's the only one who's done God's work and beaten Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, which, I appreciate, at least pre-Super Bowl. Brady did it then, but I didn't even know who to cheer for in that Super Bowl. But I still thank Joe Burrow for his service for the day that they beat the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. That was a good day.
Man, it's a good story. I mean, the kid's from home, playing at home, doing good things. And I like everything about what he's done. He's worth it.
There was a time where I said the year that LSU went wild, it's my worst sports radio take of all time. I said LSU would be really good this year if they had a quarterback. And then Joe Burrow went on to have like a record-setting season because there was never a sign before that season that Joe Burrow was going to be that.
He
ran. He's been phenomenal since.
He had gotten run out of town.
Let's take a look at what's going on in the NFL this week. The Giants are at the Panthers in Munich.
We're not sending our best.
We're not sending our best. We're sending our worst.
God.
We're sending our worst there to Germany. It's criminals. It's scumbags. It's Giants. It's Panthers. It's terrible.
Did you see that game sold out in like 8 minutes?
It's crazy. I don't think they know. Maybe they don't have TV there. They don't realize how crappy these teams are.
Well, they probably send their worst soccer teams here, and we go, they're so good.
Well, they going to learn. This is some bad football. I don't think I'm waking up at 8 o'clock to watch this game. I can tell you that. I don't think I'm going to.
Just make sure your fantasy lineups are set.
That's
Although,
it.
who do you got?
If you got Giants and Panthers on your team, you ain't worried about this season anyway. Patriots are at the Bears. The Bears. Patriots 6-point dogs on the road. I think I like the Pats.
Are you crazy?
Well, you willing to lay damn near a touchdown with the crummy Chicago Bears?
Yes,
they suck.
Yes, man. We got to understand the motives behind this season.
I mean, do you think what's the Bears' motivation?
Are
the Bears trying to win games?
I think they're trying to save their coach.
Why? Their coach is a dope.
I think they like their coach. I do. I think that they like their coach. I think they're going to try to play to win. And what on earth would the Patriots do that would serve themselves anything?
Here's the Bears' wins this season. Titans, Panthers, Jags.
Yeah. And what is different about those three teams from New England?
The zombie Rams when they didn't have any players.
I just think that the thing about Chicago is they're talented enough to win a lot of games. They are. There's talent on the edge. They got running back talent, young quarterback talent, defense flies to the ball. They're just not very well coached. But when you go against a team that has a different motive now the thing in New England is protect your quarterback, develop some talent, and draft number one. That's the plan. I just think, it should be closer, but Chicago won't beat them by a touchdown. I mean, they're at home.
So. Yeah. Give me the Pats, man. They got the better quarterback. Give me Drake May over Caleb Williams.
It ain't about that now.
Well, you say that, but the Patriots wanted to beat the Jets.
That's a different thing.
Why is that different?
That's the Jets in division, in conference. There's other stuff going on there. This is
the team you're fighting for
roadie against the Bears. Oh, God. Third stringers, get your reps in.
Yeah, I think the Bears are trash. Bills are at the Colts. Bills laying 4 on the road. That might be a lot of points to lay on the road. I think it's a shootout, though. I think both teams score a bunch of points here. I think the Colts kind of figuring out their offense now that Jonathan Taylor's back.
And they're deep. They're just not – they don't have any greatness. They're just a lot of goodness.
The Bills have not been blowing teams out the way they normally do. That Dolphins win and the Jets win a couple weeks ago where they won both those games by 3 points. It's like those are games that a year ago or 2 years ago they would have won by 20. I don't know that the Bills are in the same mode that they have been as far as blowing teams out. Broncos are at the Chiefs. Chiefs -8. Give me the dog here. The Chiefs laying more than a touchdown. It's automatic for me.
That's 3 in a row that I see the other side of this.
Who do the Chiefs beat? The Chiefs win every game by a field goal. Every game.
But this is one of those games where everybody starts looking, they're just going to grind it out and they're going to keep it ugly, where Mahomes suddenly uncorks 3 and D-Hop has 2 touchdowns and they win by an easy go away from a team that is pretending in Denver. I think they're pretending.
I also default to underdogs normally.
I get you, but it's funny that 3 in a row, that the lines are kind of big, I think. Now, I think these teams are now exactly who they're going to be.
Falcons laying 3.5 at the Saints.
That seems what?
I don't think the Falcons are 3.5 at the Saints better. I don't think I think the Falcons are good. I don't think they're.
But the Saints are terrible.
But you know what? They got a new coach bounce.
For one game.
Let's see it. This is it. We'll take a look at the rest of the NFL on the other side. You know what? I'll give you a favorite before I leave so I don't take all dogs in this segment. 49ers are going to kick the crap out of the Bucs.
There we agree.
There you go. We'll talk the rest of the slate on the other side. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is Jim Rome. Have a take, don't suck on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. KTFM Floresville.
South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Sunday afternoon at 3:25. Settling in after 2 on the road. The Cowboys take on the Philadelphia Eagles at home.
I like this kind of party.
Pregame starts at 2:30. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota.
This is home cooking. How about them Cowboys?
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today. That's progressive.com/careers.
Point.
Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
Oh, I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down.
Ace.
You're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at Metamucil.com.
Choosing the right candidates for any office can be difficult.
My office has lots of drama.
I share my office. But no matter what kind of office you have, if you're hiring, you need ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology finds the most qualified candidates for your roles fast. So, for any kind of office,
I'm really going places in my office.
count on ZipRecruiter to find the right candidates for it. Try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is a saying I like a lot. Joy shared is joy doubled. Grief shared is grief halved. It reminds us that there's a lot of wisdom and well-being that comes from living in relationship with other people. When something good happens in your life and it brings a lot of joy into your heart, the experience of it isn't really complete until you share it. Think about a good book you've read and you can't wait to tell someone about it. The joy gets doubled when your friend experiences that same joy. And what about grief? When grief and sorrow are shared with a companion in suffering, it helps to lighten that load. There's nothing worse than facing a significant loss and there's no one to help lighten that load. From time to time, people ask how to be a better friend. Here are 2 really important ways to improve as a friend. Here's my advice. Share the joy and share the grief. The good stuff doubles and the bad stuff lessens. This is Mark Absher with the MacArthur Park Church of Christ. Visit our church online at macarthurchurch.org. The MacArthur Park Church of Christ, connecting God and people.
Hey guys, it's AJ Hoffman from the Morning Huddle. If you're looking for a place to play some cards, have I got one for you. SA Card House, located just off 281 at Bitters, is the best card house in San Antonio. It's a great environment, great for all skill levels, and guys, you are going to love the food and bar that's attached. Foster's Bar and Grill, they do not mess around. Go by, check them out, or check them out online at sacardhouse.com. They're open 7 days a week. Stop in, maybe I'll see you at the tables.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio representing people and families who've been injured in traffic collisions since 1994. The reason it's important to call me as soon as possible is the number of tricks and mistakes you can make, even up to talking to insurance companies, which I'm going to tell you not to do. And also some of the billing practices at our local hospitals. And over the last year, I've seen more and more of this, where hospitals are asking patients to assign benefits they do not have to assign, all in an effort to get more money to the hospital than they would receive if all you used was your health insurance. When you call, I will give you your options. We'll talk about your case. And all of that is free of charge. If you or a family member has been injured in a traffic accident, whether car, commercial truck, motorcycle, I want you to call me as soon as possible after the collision. My number, 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or go to my website at alawyerforus.com.
At Frost, some of our services sound too good to be true. Like the largest ATM network in Texas. Early payday, so direct deposits made to personal checking accounts are available up to 2 days earlier. Having a real live banker to talk to 24/7. Or that time a Frost banker gave a San Antonio restaurant her personal debit card number after a customer's card was mistakenly declined at his business dinner. True story. Frost, exactly what you unexpected.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Looks like a new trouble spot on the northeast side, 35 southbound Judson Road. Broken down vehicle, right lane, a little bit of stop and go from Olympia Parkway. Highway 90 westbound at 1604, that stall now off to the shoulder. I-10 eastbound past Fresno, disabled vehicle, left shoulder blocked. And just north of downtown on Fredericksburg Road, between Flores and Culebra, they're on near the train tracks. We've got a train that is stopped right on the railroad tracks. It is causing delays. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
The San Antonio Spurs took down the Portland Trailblazers last night, 118-105. 8 players in double figures, paced by Keldon and Malachi, 17 apiece off the bench. The Baltimore Ravens held off the Cincinnati Bengals 35-34 as the Bengals went for 2 at the end of the game and failed. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Morning Huddle 94.1. We're going through the NFL schedule for Week 10. And we were at San Francisco and the Bucs. San Francisco getting Christian McCaffrey back. About as healthy as they've been all season long. I expect the 49ers to put on a show here. 49ers are also 4-4, kind of in that Bengals mode where they really need to they can't really afford to lose games. I guess neither can the Bucs, but the Bucs have already exceeded expectations.
Yeah, and they're playing with house money. They don't got wide receivers. I think if they lost, everybody understand it.
They lost. Steelers are at the Commanders. Steelers catching 2.5 in Washington. I think Washington's got to be at the top of their market. I mean, could they – you talk about the best bad teams or the worst good teams. I don't know what Washington is, but I know they're not as good as people think they are. I know they're not 7-2 good. But I also think that same thing about the Steelers.
Well,
Steelers feel. But
here's the thing about what happened with the Steelers when they made a move to go get Mike Williams, and somebody else too. They made a couple moves.
Well, remember their who was it?
They've
pass rusher.
They've done a couple of things over the last 2 weeks. That's not Steeler-esque. Nope. That's not normally what they do. So that makes me think that Tomlin is convinced that with Russell and a little bit of offensive help, that this is a team better than was expected. They're further in. They're as much in as Detroit was. They're just not as good, but they did as much. You know what I mean? They went and got a pass rusher. They went and got somebody to help their quarterback. This is Tomlin, for whatever reason, and I've blown this guy up this year, believes this is a good team that can get playoff and win a game or two, and they doubled down on it. They made some moves. I'm kind of surprised by what they did. There's some belief inside that locker room there. Look out for Pittsburgh.
The Commanders have one win this season against a team that currently has a winning record, and that was against the 5-4 Arizona Cardinals.
But that's their
best win this season.
What do you think? If you're going to beat Pittsburgh, how do you do it? I think you do it the way that Washington would. You know what I mean? I think you do it the way that the Commanders would. Get that quarterback mobile, get downfield, and make Pittsburgh catch up to you.
This is where I worry for Washington. Pittsburgh sees the best mobile quarterback twice a year.
True.
They are prepared for what Jaden Daniels does.
I think they're going to pants them. I think Pittsburgh's going to roll in there and take advantage of a young, inexperienced and kind of living on a prayer kind of football team.
It's been nice beating up the Giants, and it looks cool beating the Panthers by a million points. But you're about to welcome to big boy football, Jaden. Vikings are at the Jags. This line has jumped drastically from 3.5. It's now 7. That's based on the news that it looks like Trevor Lawrence is not going to play in this game. The Jags stink as it is. The Jags without Trevor Lawrence. Oh my!
Who's their backup?
I don't even know who their backup is, to be quite honest.
Because it was Bridgewater. Who was their backup? Who was the guy that was there? They're destitute at backup.
Let's see. It looks like it'll be Mac Jones.
There it is.
Oh my God! The Vikings are going to win by 1 million points. Oh, poor Jag fan. That's an atrocity. Titans are at the Chargers in what should be about a first to 20 wins.
And a game over in 2.5 hours.
Yeah, first to 20 wins that one. Chargers 7-point favorites. I bet
so Levis getting the start?
I don't know. They haven't announced yet.
The weapon that is, they're holding him back. They want to surprise the Chargers with the electric arm of Will Levis. Come on now.
I played the under in this game. I hope that Levis doesn't play because I don't want any turnovers leading to direct points for the Chargers. I'd much rather have Mason Rudolph just have three downs and punt. But Chargers -7, total 38.5 in that game. Jets are at the Cardinals. Jets laying 1.5 on the road at Arizona. I don't know. I got a feeling that the Jets get right here. As much as I hate the Jets, they've had some games where they got a little unlucky. And we started to see something against the Texans last week. Maybe they're starting to figure things out a little bit on the offensive side. I think this is a good spot for the Jets.
Little number to pay attention to. Rodgers had 19 passes dropped this season, most of any NFL quarterback. It started to turn around last week. So some of the things that have been happening aren't because of him. And if they do start holding onto the ball, they are going to move the ball a lot better than the first half just by holding on.
And a great matchup, Lions at the Texans. Lions -3.5 in Houston. It should be a fun one.
It should be, and if the Texans were loaded for bear, I'd give it a lot more credit when Detroit does beat them because they're gonna, but it's not going to be a fair fight.
Does Nico Collins play is my question. And when I know that, if I know Nico Collins is playing, I'll back the Texans catching 3.5 at home.
Hottest team in football, maybe the best.
They got to lose sometime.
I agree. It's not a fair fight for the Texans. I'd like to have seen this with everybody healthy because it could have been a possible, in maybe next year's Super Bowl preview. This really could have been something extraordinary.
Remember, if you had looked at this line preseason, like the game of the year line, this would have been Texans -2.
Probably.
There's a wild shift, and a lot of it is just narrative. Everybody thinks, like you think, that the Lions are the best team.
I do, and I think that the Texans have the potential to be that in a minute, and they just don't have enough to offer a fair fight this week.
Well, it'll be interesting to see some of these teams how I think we're separating pretenders from contenders this weekend, and some of the teams on that list, one of the teams on that list might be the Texans. Not that the Texans won't make the playoffs. Texans are making the playoffs because the rest of their division is just a giant dumpster fire. But I think this game will tell us a lot about if the Texans, if they get to the playoffs, what can they do?
Mm-hmm.
I think this game will tell us a lot about the Broncos. The Broncos at the Chiefs. If the Broncos can win here, it's like, okay, Broncos are a real playoff team.
They're going to convince me. It'll be this kind of game against this kind of team that'll convince me that Sean Payton is doing Sean Payton things again.
The Steelers at the Commanders. I probably have to give some respect to the winner of that game. I don't know who's going to – I think Pittsburgh's going to win.
I think like I said, they're all in. Who'd have thought that Tomlin and Brain Trust with the Steelers would have traded for a wide receiver at the deadline? I mean,
not a typical move.
Considering the two quarterbacks that he's dealing with. Just a strange move for a team that I do believe that Tomlin looks around and goes, you know what? We're not bad, and we might be better than Cincinnati just on our own. I mean – without anything extra. So I think they're kind of all in it. I'm watching Pittsburgh guardedly optimistic about this.
And then Niners-Bucks. I mean, it's a must-win for both teams.
They're going to destroy Tampa.
I think they are,
bad, too. Because Tampa's going to offer everything they've got. They
good
just
story
don't got much,
what Tampa's got. It's been a good story. And Giants-Panthers, obviously a matchup for that first pick. Who is the worst team in the NFL? The world wants to know. So if you want to wake up early, 8:30, Watch it on German television.
Get yourself a brat and some warm beer.
Oh, yes.
Where are they?
Munich.
Munich. We talked about the sellout. They sold out in like 8 minutes, and as eager as
it's the only sellout crowd the Panthers will play in front of this
pretty
season.
much. And maybe we should send them there. Maybe that's exactly where they belong. We'll send Jackson. Those two teams that arrived at the same time will eventually just kind of relegate them to Europe. They get relegated after 25 years in the NFL. You got to go. You never did quite measure up. You're gonna have to play overseas.
Guys, you're gonna have to learn a new language. Sorry.
I cannot believe those guys go, we got what? We've got
Giants, Panthers.
Giants and Panthers.
Germany is sitting there thinking, I thought these guys were our allies.
And then look
Why did they do this? This is who they should have sent to NFL Afghanistan. These are supposed to be our friends.
You guys get to keep the loser. That's how it works. Loser stays home.
We're still punishing them for World War II.
That's it.
It's like, hey, man, we never forget, all right? We never forget. You will get Giants, Panthers until the last World War II vet is here, because we're not giving anything to you sorry bastards.
Looking at the numbers, my fantasy league, this is my last weekend of trade. It seems early.
Week 10?
Yeah.
That's about right.
Does anybody else have a league that this is? I mean, you can still do free agents, but trades have to stop now. That's too early for me.
But I mean, I'm in 4 fantasy leagues. I would guess in those 4 fantasy leagues, there's been a total of about 3 trades completed.
Oh, I agree, but normally
it just doesn't happen.
The trades, the good trades, the juicy ones, start happening right about now. I feel like we're doing it about 3 weeks early.
No, now's the time. Now's the time. You got to make a move or what?
Well, I was considering it, and I got this flash thing. You got, trade deadline is Sunday at 11:59. Like, what?
Yeah,
I didn't think it was that soon.
I'm in a family league, and I play my wife this week.
Oh, yeah.
She has Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
Freaking 50 burger.
My wife has played in so many leagues that I have drafted and controlled, and it's funny that whenever we play each other, the team that I just kind of half-ass for always beats me. I'm the one that drafted it, and it's better than mine.
Yeah, my wife is in first place. She's going to kick the crap out of me this week. I hate it.
It's the George Costanza. Do the opposite of what you might have done for your wife and watch her win.
And as it stands, I am currently in dead-ass last place in my league.
Ooh, is that going to involve
It might involve a tattoo.
Of strength or a tat?
Yeah, it might involve a loser tattoo. I started out the year 2-2. I'm now 2-7. Yeah, and the last place team has to get a tattoo that says loser somewhere on their body.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I was going all in on Dak. You shouldn't have done that.
I am really, really needing a win here. Yeah, my quarterback is Sam Darnold in that league. That'll tell you about where I'm at. So, hard times.
Well, I mean, it could be worse.
You're right. 1-8 could be 1-8 instead of 2-7, but it couldn't be much worse. All right. When we come back, let's talk about what happened with the Spurs last night, and let's talk about what's happened with the Spurs this weekend, and maybe get into what's going on with Greg Popovich, or as much as we can. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
South Texas, as fall hits, it's time to get those chores done out around the property. And without the proper tools, those chores can take long and really kind of wear you out. That's why having a Kubota tractor in your barn is exactly what you need in this time of life. As you head into the fall, if you're looking to break ground, you're looking for a tractor package that will fill every need around your property, whether you need post holes, whether you need a rear dragged lawnmower, and whether you need a grader, whatever you need, the implements that go on to the small tractors there at Kubota will fit exactly what you're chasing. And they've got price points that will match exactly what you need. If you've always aspired to have yourself a Kubota, there's no better time than right now. 0% APR. The rates are good. The timing is perfect. It's time to go check it out. And if you're looking for the perfect gift for dad, brother, whoever it might be, a Kubota tractor, whether it be or maybe a utility vehicle for the land, is no better place to go. The 11 locations around South Texas, they're there to help. The Ewald family's been part of a fabric of South Texas for a long time, taking care of farmers, ranchers, hunters, and homeowners. If you need a Kubota, now's the time to head over and take a look. Not only do they have what you're chasing, they've got the rates to go through it. And if you got your lease going, if you're heading out to the deer lease this weekend and you're tired of lugging that stuff on the back of some overly priced and overly loud vehicle, the Kubotas are by far the number one selling diesel-powered RTVs, ATVs in the country. And if you haven't checked out the Kubota line, my goodness, talk about customization, talk about reliability. Everything you're chasing in that orange tractor can be found at all 11 locations. And if you're breaking ground and just want some equipment for a short time, give them a call. They'll lease them to you by the day, by the week, by the month. They'll train you up when they get there. They'll pick it up on time. You'll get everything you need as you head into a busy, busy fall. Ewald Kubota, from the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas for over 75 years, Ewald Kubota is certainly your Kubota dealer.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
It's a great night for a single guy that dresses up to go out.
You know, I'm not sure. Like, I'm looking at the TV Insider pledges, and I see Laura Rutledge in there.
Uh-huh.
She's not dressed up, but Malika Andrews was. And what was disappointing about that is she had pants on.
Wow.
I mean, you're talking about a scantily clad costume. I didn't mean she's going to take her pants off.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1. San Antonio's Sports Star.
See website for details. Bills Happen is not a lender and does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
Honey, the credit card bill came and we're maxed out.
Great. Maxed out cards, rent is due, bills are piling up. We just need some extra cash to help us get by for a few weeks.
We should do what my brother did. He went to billshappen.com and got $3,000 the next day.
With our bad credit, I don't think so.
Billshappen.com is different. They are one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with all credit types get up to $5,000.
I'm sure there's a lot of paperwork.
Nope, my brother said it was easy. He did it right from his phone.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan for up to $5,000 in minutes, and your cash can hit your bank account the next day. Bills Happen's lenders have millions of dollars to lend, regardless of your credit history.
Great news! I went to billshappen.com, and we will have our money as soon as tomorrow.
Wow, that is fast.
If you need extra cash, go to billshappen.com. That's billshappen.com. Billshappen.com.
Hello, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio, and since 1994, I've been representing people and families seriously injured by negligent drivers. Recently, we've all seen advertisements from attorneys here in San Antonio saying their firm does not get paid an attorney fee unless there's a recovery. And maybe you've heard, we don't get paid unless you get paid, or words to that effect. Well, that is what I've been doing for more than 30 years. I honestly did not know that there were attorneys in San Antonio that would represent an injured client and charge a fee if there was no recovery. You see, I practice law with basic principles, one of which is you never need an excuse to do the right thing. If you or a family member has been injured in a vehicle collision, including a commercial or business vehicle, an 18-wheeler, call me. The phone call and consultation is free. If you hire me, I will not get a fee unless there is a recovery. And this has been true for me and my firm for more than 30 years. My number, 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or check out my website, alawyerforus.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
Jason Minix here from the Blitz for Underdog Fantasy, the place to play if you're a sports fan looking to win money while watching sports. And I love playing the Pick'em game at Underdog Fantasy, where you can win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on player stats. Think basketball, think football. You can mix, you can match across your other favorite sports and leagues and win money watching sports. And this season, Underdog will be running a special promo or bonus almost every single day, like Profit Boost. Pump up your winnings in just a tap when you apply the boost to eligible entries. Discounts, you'll get adjusted projections on certain player stats to give you a better shot at the win, and they're basically a sure thing with their free picks. A player just has to get higher than 0.5 for that stat pick to win. All new users get a free pick. So download the app, sign up with promo code STAR, and deposit now to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. Promo code STAR. Must be 18 or over, present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
During Dell Technologies' early holiday savings event, save on select PCs like the XPS 16 that accelerate AI with Intel Core Ultra processors. Shop Dell.com/deals.
What's on?
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the NFL. Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday night football. Presented locally by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Spurs get a win last night over the lowly Portland Trailblazers. But, hey, wins are wins, right? And I said you need to punch down when you get to. That was a chance for the Spurs to punch down last night. They did just that. 118-105 is your final.
I don't think they were ever behind.
Let me look at the game cast real quick. No, they were behind. No, they were tied.
Yeah.
Well, they were behind very early in the game.
Well, they're like, was it? No, was it maybe 2-0? Maybe
15-13 looks like the last lead for the Blazers. But yeah, they were tied at 59 in the third quarter, and then the Blazers or the Spurs started to pull away. Boy, the Blazers, like normally I come in here and complain about the Spurs shooting a bunch of threes and missing a bunch of threes. That was the Blazers last night. 28% from three, just chucking and nothing going in. 9 of 32, and they kept on trying. But the Spurs, it was not what I would have expected them to win like. Wemby did not have a great game again. Just 12 points, 8 boards, 4 turnovers. We did see, though, maybe the best offensive game for Steph Castle that we've seen this year. He puts
2
up
straight starts and
14 points in the win.
Getting reps. And you talked about punching down. This is the kind of game that you start your guys and let a lot of guys get a lot of minutes. Wren was on the Brigade Bar yesterday talking about practice. Last night was practice. Last night was the opportunity to you had 8 guys in double figures. Lots of shots going up from lots of different locations. 3 different point guards with 3 or 4 assists. You had everything you needed in a night out against a lesser team.
Chris Paul basically I don't want to say a non-factor, but not much of a factor.
Didn't need to be. Wesley got a lot of those minutes, and Malachi pulled an ankle. That was a little bit concerning because he's one of the few guys on this team that can just go get his own bucket, and without him, things kind of tend to clog.
Made a few threes too.
That's going to bother as we go through this homestand. One of the things we wanted to see more of was Mamu. He got some valuable minutes, offensively solid, at least being a threat. But Zach Collins continues to be. He's not going to be off the charts defensively. You're not going to see a lot of things. He just pulls that defense together more than Mamu does. And I think that's the one thing that's going to keep Collins' minutes up, though I think as the season goes, we're going to see more and more Mamu because he's just got some activity to him, some bounce that kind of changes the game when he's in.
I don't know for me, the Blazers, it doesn't really make sense what they're doing. First of all, I don't know if Scoot Henderson is good. When I see him, I'm not impressed.
I think he can't even get off the bench on what is the least talented team in basketball.
So that kind of leads to my next point. I get why Simons is playing. He's their best player.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of these guys, like I would expect to see Scoot. And when I did see Shadon Sharp last night, I like him. He's a good player, man. He's going to be solid
eventually.
But I would if I were a young team that had no future for this year. You're not going anywhere this year. Wouldn't you want to see some Scoot, Shadon, Klingon, get those guys out there, get them like real significant minutes, and start prepping for like real life?
I think you will.
I feel like you're wasting a bunch of time throwing guys like Jeremy Grant out there.
Well, the problem when you're dealing with this is there's only, what do you figure on this roster when they finally do get good? 3 of these guys?
It's probably those 3.
So but the problem is you don't want them learning bad habits. You want them to learn to play good NBA basketball. And what happened like for the Rockets The Rockets lost probably a year and a half of growth, but with just bad coaching and with that excuse. Look, we're playing for the future. Let the young guys go play. What you ended up with was Jalen Green with a year and a half of bad habits, just running wild, no pace, no concept, and you lost development. I think they're doing their best with nothing. I mean, there's nothing there. And given that, the Spurs did exactly what you do against teams with nothing. You practice, you do some things you wouldn't normally get to do against good teams, you get a lot of minutes in, and let everybody feel good about themselves in a time when right now, if I'm a Spur, judging by what I heard from Wemby yesterday about Pop, I'm starting to get a little bit more worried than not worried about this thing.
Yeah, it doesn't – I mean, first of all, it's weird that if what he's saying is true, that the players don't even know what's going on with Pop.
We only
exactly.
know what we need to know, and he's not in contact with us.
That's weird.
It's very weird, and I don't say you have to tell me what's wrong with you. You know, I don't need to know what's wrong with Pop. What I do need to know is, at least as a fan, what is the time frame here? What should I be looking for here? Are my expectations that I'm not going to see Pop for a long time? Give me some variable, at least what the players know, and it feels like the players don't know much more than I do.
If I told you Popovich wasn't coming back this season, would you assume at that point that
it's over?
Popovich doesn't come back ever?
I think it would be 70% he will not be back.
That's wild, isn't it?
Because I think, yeah, but I don't know how to put this. We've been waiting for the final for a long time.
You just didn't expect it to come without some
warning.
warning.
Like that. I always thought it would happen. I just didn't think it would happen now. But, this might very well be the way it happens. Just out for a little bit, out for a while, out forever.
Yeah. Well, the next time we'll see the Spurs, and I said this yesterday, people are going to start just guessing. That's the worst thing that can happen for the Spurs.
So should we start? I mean, I don't want to start rumors, but at some point you're going to have to tell us, because if you don't, then the things on the internet start taking hold.
Well, I read yesterday that Greg Popovich has dysentery.
See, there's dysentery.
He got it on the Oregon Trail, and it's
exactly
a devastating case of dysentery.
Or maybe it's the election. He just couldn't face the fact that it didn't work out. But seriously, when you start hearing rumors about heart attack, everybody goes, well, when it's sudden like this, and in a man of his age, it was a heart attack. Well, gosh, I don't want my 75-year-old coach ever to be back on the sidelines. You've done enough, Coach. I don't want to be worried about him.
I also read that he got injured in a karate tournament.
See, that's what he and Tim were sparring, and Tim kicked him in the nuts.
Getting ready for a karate tournament, and his testicle exploded.
And just kicked Pop in the nuts.
And now he's got internal bleeding. But again, this is just a rumor. It's just what I read.
Yeah. And if it's not true, Spurs, let us know. We'll be more than happy to repeat the truth, but we will certainly repeat rumors, because that's all that'll fill a void.
I also read that he was doing a helicopter rescue mission, and the chopper went down, and a bunch of kids died, but there was one kid left on the chopper, and Popovich ran back into the chopper, saved the kid, but smoke inhalation.
But he was going to the kidney he was going to give to Vic. He ended up giving to the kid.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Vic.
Sorry, Vic.
But kids come first.
You don't get Pop's kidney.
Yeah, Vic's had a much better. Vic's lived a good life. He's had a good life. Man.
The sad thing is that 75-year-old kidney was better than the one that Vic already has.
That is a sad.
It's sad. It's a bad place to be.
Sad fact.
But we do. In all seriousness, you can only work in ignorance for a minute, right? I mean, at some point you have to kind of tell us what the plan is, and if there is a plan, was there one in place already? Is Mitch the guy? Would he be named interim? Would there be somebody else on the bench that would be named interim? Are they going to hire from without, or are they going to hire from within? Are we going to hire somebody we know? Is it somebody that's been, in the periphery but never here?
I don't know.
See?
I mean, you know better than I do what their contingency plans would be.
But
I mean, I don't think they'd have someone official this season. I think they'd see how this season runs out, and then if Mitch does well enough, then maybe that's what they go with. But my guess is this is I don't know. I would say he seems like too young for that job full time, but who knows what they're thinking.
He's older. He's younger than Chris Paul. I will say this, and this I don't know who to attribute this quote to, but the Spurs don't take a dump without a plan.
Napoleon Bonaparte. That's.
I mean, I'm serious. The Spurs,
Teddy Roosevelt.
Everything they do is planned. So there is a plan for when Pop leaves. That's there. They have a plan A and a plan B and a plan C. It is already in place. I'm just wondering if they press that button, if we're all ready to plan A.
I don't know. It certainly throws a wrench into what the timeline expectations are.
And I don't know what to expect of Mitch. I'm certainly I know he's doing exactly what is laid out. He's following a lesson plan for like a substitute teacher. There's things you got to get done, but will that maintain if the captain of the ship suddenly changes?
Here's an internet rumor. Greg Popovich was drinking some wine imported from Venezuela, and it was laced with fentanyl.
There you go, Venezuelan bad wine.
They're not.
Could have been.
They're not sinning their best. They're sinning their worst. And now, it's. Here's another rumor that Greg Popovich had to have his neck removed, and now his shoulders just sitting on his head's just sitting on his shoulders with no neck. It's a very rare but traumatic neck.
It's hard to
disorder.
find shirts that fit.
Yeah.
Once you lose the neck, see, there's a lot of reasons.
Most of his shirts now, he has to
Yeah.
talk through his collar like this. It's very awkward.
That will keep you out. See, if you're not showing up, rumors fill the void. Spurs, there's something. Did Tim really kick him in the nuts?
There's a rumor that he's been lobotomized. I see here. That's terrible.
That's after working with all these young kids. He
That's
asked for that.
Terrible.
He asked for the lobotomy.
Terrible. I see another rumor here that he was involved in a love triangle with Bill Belichick and his girlfriend, and his heart exploded during the tryst.
See, we don't want to.
I don't know.
Rumors.
Again, these are all rumors I'm reading. I don't know if any of them are true.
Yes, we really
I would
don't.
assume they're not, but until we know, like, how do we know?
You're gonna have to let us know, because I heard that he was down in Cabo.
Oh, yeah.
That he had gone to Cabo.
I see here gored during bullfighting incident.
He'd gone to Cabo and was fighting bulls on a down weekend and couldn't catch his flight. See, that's what I heard.
Well, I guess we can only assume.
wonder what's
Popovich
going
strikes
on.
me as a really good bullfighter who would never get gored, but I don't know.
He's been doing
Maybe
it a
he's
long time.
Lost a step.
It's one of those things we don't like. They ask us not to talk about.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, bullfighting, that's frowned upon.
Yeah, it doesn't really. I mean, but as a coach, he's allowed to do that. But we just not. As the media, we don't want to. That's his personal life.
I don't like the bullfighting.
He's a
They
bullfighter.
always kill the bull.
And he's.
I don't
one of
kill the
those.
bull. I'm real nice to the bull. I'm friendly. I teach him to read. It's a quote from a terrible movie called Bulletproof, an Adam Sandler movie. All right, when we come back, we'll look at what's going on in the world of college football. Good weekend coming up in college foots. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'll tell you guys about my friends over at SA Card House, located at 281 in Bitters. This is San Antonio's premier card house, and boy, have I been making myself some money over there at SA Card House. You can get your hands on some of that too. They're open 7 days a week. It's funny. It's the only place in town when I'm driving in. It's the only place in town that on my drive anyway that there's still stuff going on when I'm driving in. Parking lot's still full. People playing poker all hours of the night. So whatever your schedule, you can get in there, pass yourself some time, have yourself some fun, get some great food, great drinks. They've got a fantastic bar and restaurant there called Foster's, and all skill levels are welcome. My mom came up last weekend, and she plays online. She was a little nervous about playing at the tables. Everybody was really friendly to her. Gave her a good indoctrination. She actually had a blast. She's like, I can't wait to come back. Can't wait to come back. It really is a good time. They've got tournaments every day. Check them out, sacardhouse.com, or on Instagram, the social medias. You'll see what they're doing that day at a SA Card House. But I'll be out of town this weekend. Next week, I'm going to be playing in some tournaments, and what I'm going to do is this. Any of our listeners who come out and play in the tournaments that day, I'll let you guys know the days I'm going to be there. You come out and play, you knock me out of the tournament, you tell them, hey, I knocked AJ from the Morning Huddle out of the tournament, they're going to refund your entry just like that. They're going to give you your money back right there. So you got to play poker for free, got a chance to win some money for free. So we'll start doing that next week. It's SA Card House, sacardhouse.com. I'll see you at the tables.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Looks like a new trouble spot on the northeast side, 35 southbound Judson Road. Broken down vehicle, right lane, a little bit of stop and go from Olympia Parkway. Highway 90 westbound at 1604, that stall now off to the shoulder. I-10 eastbound past Fresno, disabled vehicle, left shoulder blocked. And just north of downtown on Fredericksburg Road between Flores and Culebra, they're on near the train tracks. We've got a train that is stopped right on the railroad tracks. It is causing delays. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay, and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today. That's progressive.com/careers.
Howdy, Ags. Andrew Monaco, the voice of the Aggies, inviting you to watch all A&M games at the Angry Elephant at 281 and Redland Road. Owned by Chip Ingram, class of '98, the Angry Elephant is known for their liberal cocktails at conservative prices and the best hot dog in Texas. Since 2012, the Angry Elephant's been the place to watch A&M, and this year is no different. Just down from the Big Blind, right next to the Rue Pub at 281 and Redland Road. The Angry Elephant. Like your bar, love your Aggies. Gig 'em.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Hey there, Cowboy fans! San Antonio Sports Star has something special just for you. Imagine this, you and a loved one, and the excitement of a Dallas Cowboys home game under the bright lights at AT&T Stadium. Well, thanks to AARP and San Antonio Sports Star, we're giving you the chance to make that dream come true. It's easy. Just visit sasportsstar.com to enter for your shot at winning 2 tickets to see the Cowboys live. Whether it's your first game or your 100th, nothing compares to being there, surrounded by fellow fans, soaking up that incredible energy. And hey, this isn't just about football. It's about creating memories with someone close to you. AARP knows how important that is, and that's why they're proud to sponsor this special giveaway. So don't wait. Head over to sasportsstar.com. Enter and picture yourself in those seats, sharing an unforgettable day. We can't wait to send you to the game. Visit sasportsstar.com to enter. sasportsstar.com.
It's football season, and now you can get anything you need for game day delivered with Uber Eats. Well, almost anything. You can't get a running back, but baby back ribs? Yes. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL.
NCE General Contractors, based in San Antonio, is one of the fastest-growing nationwide general contractors with a focus on commercial new construction, design-build projects, building renovations, tenant finish-outs, site upgrades, and building maintenance. NCE President Brian Ehrlich's a former Madison quarterback and proud to support high school football in San Antonio, building relationships first, then buildings that last. Learn more about NCE General Contractors online at ncegc.co. That's ncegc.co.
Guys, Underdog is the place to play if you're a sports fan looking to win money while you're watching sports. They've got all your favorite leagues, teams, and stars to choose from. You think Dak is going to have higher or lower yards than his stat coming up in this game? You can make money off that opinion at Underdog. Create entries with football, basketball, mix and match. You can do it all. They've even got college sports as well. I've been playing a lot of those college props. I think there is some money to be made in those deals. This week on Underdog, I'm looking at the Spurs. I'm going Wemby to go over on his rebounds. And guys, again, every sport is available on here. It's a blast, and it just makes the games more interesting. This season, they're running a special promo or bonus almost every single day. Profit boost, discounts, free picks. They're basically a sure thing. A player has to get higher than a half a point to get the win. All new users get a free pick. Download the app, sign up with the promo code Alamo, deposit now, and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash immediately. That's promo code Alamo. Must be 18 or older. Present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text BAIL to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
1, 2, 3, Cowboys! South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Sunday afternoon at 3:25. Settling in after 2 on the road. The Cowboys take on the Philadelphia Eagles at home.
I like this kind of party.
Pre-game starts at 2:30. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota.
This is home cooking. How about them Cowboys?
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Week 11 of college football. Had plenty of midweek games. We got some more today. We'll get to those in the daily lines, but let's take a look at what's going on this weekend. Ohio State's a 38-point favorite hosting Purdue. I think Ohio State's not very good, but they may behead Purdue. At some point, these teams that are not leading their conference, they are worried about seeding. They're worried about being left out, so they want to have style points.
Beauty contest points now.
Yeah. I could see Ohio State, and this is a great chance for Ohio State to win by 50 if they want.
Purdue sucks.
Oh, they're bad. They're bad. They'd be better if Zach Edey played for them on their football team. They would be better. The U, Miami, 9-0 at Georgia Tech. Miami laying 11. Give me Georgia Tech to cover 11. This Miami team has been getting by with smoke and mirrors, and they're finding ways. The one concern I have is apparently there's some questions about whether or not Haynes King is going to play for Georgia Tech.
I'm looking right now to see if Kings is playing.
If he doesn't play, it's going to be a pass for me. If he does play, 11's a good number to get at home with Georgia Tech. Ball control offense. Cam Ward's going to make a couple bonehead plays and give Georgia Tech some chances. Miami will find a way to win. They keep finding ways to win. But if he plays, I like Georgia Tech plus 11.
Looks like he's playing.
Kind of like in the same vein, if DJ Lagway plays for Florida, I like Florida plus 22.5.
That is an absolute.
But I will say this. This is going to be a high-scoring game if Lagway plays. And if Lagway doesn't play, one thing I'm going to target is Texas's team total. Texas is going to score in this game. Florida, so think about the best unit on Texas's team is their wide receivers. They're fantastic. Florida has 2 freshman corners that are going to be starting. Oh, RIP to those kids. They're about to take some real harsh medicine from Steve Sarkisian. So I do think Texas is going to score a lot of points here. 34.5 is the team total for them. I think they go over that. But if Lagway plays, I think 22.5 is a lot of points to say that Texas is going to win by that. So keep an eye on that injury report as well. Georgia's at Ole Miss. Georgia, a 2.5-point road favorite.
Ole Miss, baby.
I'm with you, man. It's an Ole Miss play for me too. This boils down to who needs it more. Ole Miss loses this game, they're out. Georgia loses this game, all they got to do is beat Tennessee, and they're still good. Ole Miss is on. This is their whole season on the line here. They have the best pass rush in college football this season, and
well, a lot of that's because they're teeing off on teams that are behind by 3 touchdowns.
Sure,
yeah, they're very. This is a team that is primed for what looks like kind of it's never a trap game when you're that good at top 10. No. This is a Georgia. This is a bad place for Georgia to be right now.
And you know who's been bad at giving up pressure on their quarterback is Georgia.
Yeah, this is worst case scenario.
And you know who throws the ball a lot to the other team when he's pressured? Carson Beck.
But I'll say this: they go into Ole Miss and they beat Ole Miss. They're the best team in the country.
I think you're probably right. Well, Oregon still has a stake in that, but yeah, I think you're probably right.
This is as hostile environment as anybody has played against a team that absolutely this is a world national championship game to them. They lose, it's over.
Michigan goes to Indiana. Indiana, a 14.5-point favorite. Sure wouldn't have thought that at the beginning of the year. Yet here we are.
And they're going to do it, too.
Cignetti, if he's got a chance to, he is going to punk this team out. Now, Indiana does have Ohio State next. They do have a bye in between there. I expect Indiana to want to put up a number here, though. Iowa State at Kansas. Iowa State laying 3 on the road. Now, I say on the road. This is at Arrowhead, so it's sort of a neutral, sort of a Kansas.
Really? Is this a normal thing?
I don't think so, but I mean, it's a big rivalry, and I'll say this. Iowa State they have been showing cracks in the dam for a while. It burst last week against Texas Tech. Would not shock me to see it get worse here on the road against Kansas.
I don't know who they are. They don't know who they are.
Yeah, I just don't think Iowa State's very good. Yeah. And I think in the Big 12, it's one of those leagues where when everybody's bad and I get a home underdog catching a field goal, why not? Clemson, and by the way, Kansas's losses. Kansas is 2-6, and you might go, oh, they suck. Okay, I'm not saying they're great. Lost to at Illinois by 6 points. Lost to UNLV by 3. Lost at West Virginia by 4. Lost at Arizona State by 4. At Kansas State by 2. All their games are coin flips.
Yeah.
So I'm catching 3? Why not?
I'd also look at whoever they were playing did not take them too seriously, too.
I mean,
they were always the look-pass game.
Maybe Iowa State looks past them here.
It's possible.
Clemson laying 5.5 at Virginia Tech. I'm torn here. I want to back Virginia Tech.
Clemson's too talented.
They are. That's the big issue, but God, they stink now. Mm-hmm. I don't know what's wrong with that team. What an ugly performance. What an interesting game here. Army at North Texas. Army -4, which means North Texas is taking money. This was 5.5 earlier. Total is 64.5.
How's quarterback?
That's the big question. I mean, Army treats it like it's national security. Like, we're not allowed to tell you about our quarterback's injury status. We don't. So if Bryson Daly plays, I like Army. I like the over in this game. I don't know who's stopping who here. 64.5 is the number. North Texas's defense is pathetic. Pathetic. I think Army's gonna score on them even if Daly doesn't play, but I think North Texas is gonna put up some points too. This is a real scary game for Army, and obviously a game they need to keep their playoff hopes alive. Colorado laying 4 at the Red Raiders.
This is the game. This is the game of the week in the Big 12.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wait until right before kickoff, and then I'm going to bet Texas Tech because Colorado continues to take public money. Dion's already asking about tortillas. He's worried. This is an ugly home environment. Colorado sucks on the road, too. Historically, they have sucked. And that's one of the things when you've got a great home field, when you play at altitude or whatever, your metrics get inflated because your home numbers are so good that when you go on the road, it's tough. So give me Texas Tech here, getting anything over 3.5. They're 4 right now.
I'll tell you, I'm not sure. I want to see a good football game. I'm just not ready to have to start talking about Colorado again.
I'm with you.
You know what I mean? Because no matter how they're probably going to beat Tech, and they're going to do it on the road, and there'll probably be a splash play or two from Travis Hunter or something. And we're going to elevate them to a level that they're not once again.
I think Tech will beat them.
I hope they do.
I think they do.
Man, I hope they do.
I think they get the job done.
I want it to go away.
Maryland's at Oregon. Oregon laying 24.5 at home. Man, I'll tell you what. Dan Lanning, this dude, this is all you need to know. I talk about Kurt Cignetti all the time and what he does to teams. Dan Lanning calling a timeout so he can show his team, the other team's fans leaving the building.
Got me, man.
That's hardcore.
When I saw that, that's a man I play for.
Hey, look at these dudes leaving.
This guy right
timeout.
Here.
I just wanted y'all to see.
Man, look at what y'all did.
All their fans are leaving because y'all beat the hell out of these dudes.
I saw, man. That's the kind of thing that gets the hair standing up on the back of my
does,
neck.
Man.
That's one of those acts that, dude, I will go to the ends of the earth for you, man.
I am a big fan of a son of a bitch coach, and Dan Lanning's a son of a bitch. Mm-hmm. Give me that guy any damn day. Mississippi State Dogs at Tennessee.
Look out. Now here.
Tennessee laying 24.5.
They're not 24.5 better than Mississippi State. I'm sorry.
I'm with you. Mississippi State sucks. They're the worst team in the SEC. But Tennessee's quarterback can barely throw the ball 5 yards down the field. Tennessee's 7-1. They're I think one of the most overrated teams in the country.
I agree. Here it is.
24.5 is a clown number. Florida State's at Notre Dame. Notre Dame minus 26.5. Notre Dame gets into that same conversation of they'd like to put up a pretty performance, and they get a chance to kick Florida State while they're down. I expect they do just that.
Should have been such a good game. I remember circling this game, knowing A&M was off this week. I saw Florida coming to Texas, and I saw Florida State, Notre Dame, and I thought this will be a game because no matter what happens, I'm going to be happy. One of those, but somebody going to go down. Well, now it's foregone conclusion.
I'll still be happy no matter what happens.
Yeah, well.
I don't mind seeing Florida State get embarrassed every week. It's been fun for me. They're like the Jets. I've laughed at it every time. Alabama, 6:30 on ABC. Oh, yeah. Alabama at LSU. Alabama minus 2.5.
Loser leaves town.
This is a playoff game.
Yeah, that's it.
There is no wiggle room. Whoever loses this game is eliminated.
Now, apart from picking, as a gambler, as looking for an edge and picking a side, who do you want to win in your heart? Like, who are you going to be a fan of?
Ugh.
I mean, there's going to be one. You always have 51 over 50. There's never even.
Ugh.
So you don't even view, because in my heart of hearts, there's just something about me. I hate LSU. I'm as an Aggie. It's a long and ongoing hatred, but I want to see Alabama at home watching. I just want to see the post-Saban Bama fan wondering if they've done it right, if it's all over. He leaves, and we can't even make a 12-team playoff now that Nick's not around. I kind of want to see that.
If you told me to choose, I would cheer for Alabama for two reasons. I like Jalen Milroe. I'm a genuine fan of his game. He's fun to watch. But secondly, I like Kalen DeBoer as a coach. I don't like Brian Kelly.
Well, that's
like
I know.
I won't. I just don't want to cheer for Brian Kelly. So
I despise him.
And you know what I'll say about Kalen DeBoer? Kalen DeBoer is a big game coach, and yeah, they're 6-2. This is not Saban's Alabama. They're not going to win the national title. But I trust Kalen DeBoer in a big game. I don't know that I trust Brian Kelly in a big game.
I'm not going about the logical pick.
You're just saying who do I want to win?
Because
then it's Alabama. I like Kalen DeBoer more than I like Brian Kelly.
It's not about the coaches because Brian Kelly is my most despised college coach for 100 reasons. But as far as Bama and all the Bama-ness that even after Saban retired, the Bama-ness
there is something about seeing
still hanging around.
There's something about seeing Goliath dead on the battlefield that is kind of cool.
Just getting beaten and battered and go home and just stew on it for a year. I know you're not done. It ain't over. You're not going to turn into Nebraska or anything, but I want you to go sit and just figure out what the hell happened to you and how you're going to come back after you have to go play in the Poulan Weed Eater Bowl.
Speaking of seeing former Kings laying dead on the battlefield, Oklahoma goes to Missouri. Oklahoma, a 2.5-point road favorite at Mizzou. That kind of tells me that Brady Cook is still dealing with injuries, and I don't want to be involved in this game if Brady Cook's not playing. But there's no way I'm betting Oklahoma as a favorite on the road. Oklahoma sucks, man. They are, and I don't just say that in the traditional Oklahoma sucks way. They actually suck at football. Washington's at Penn State. Washington plus 13.5. I expect we see a Penn State bounce back here.
That's a 2 time zone cross country kind of thing.
Yep, Washington going to Pennsylvania.
Easy cover.
I think Penn State gets right here. Nevada's at Boise. Boise laying 24. Now, Boise, all they've got to do is hold serve. They don't need the style points, but they need to win. 24 is a big number, but Nevada just has done nothing.
Let's get 200 on the ground. Let's work toward a Heisman.
I would guess that's their plan. Virginia's at Pitt. Pitt, a 7.5-point favorite. Give me Virginia. No, I don't know.
This is going to test the mettle. Who's the Pitt coach?
Narduzzi.
Yeah, Pat Narduzzi. This is going to test the mettle of his ability. If I was his AD, I love him. I mean, this team is winning, but can this team rebound after having the rug yanked out from underneath them last week?
Yeah.
Literally nothing left to play for other than pride because they ain't going to the playoffs.
I've been saying this Pitt team was a fraud all year, but maybe this is a rebound spot for them. I don't know. Virginia's not very good. BYU's at Utah. The Holy War. We talked about this game earlier in the week, and I said I'm betting Utah. I bet Utah plus 4. It's now Utah plus 2.5.
Really?
So Utah's taking money,
and they should.
I think people are starting to realize this BYU team is not that good. They've got a very, very inaccurate quarterback. Rice Eccles is maybe the toughest place to go play in the country, or at least one of them.
Tough football. They're under-skilled. I mean, under-talented, but one thing they're going to do is they're going to hit BYU all day.
This is what you need to remember. The reason why Utah is bad now is because Cam Rising's on. Their offense is no good. I get it. That is still a really good defense, and I think they're going to give BYU problems. I think Utah wins that game outright.
What do you like the under on this?
Oh, yeah.
As if they do it, yeah.
If they win, it ain't going to be because their quarterback put up a bunch of points. He stinks, too.
I like it.
Washington State, the number 21 team in the country, they are 20.5-point favorites hosting a really, really bad Utah State team. Washington State's got a quarterback in John Mateer who is really impressive, two-way quarterback. He's from Little Elm, Texas.
That's right.
And he has been putting up some numbers.
They got to score 100 points.
They are. They're looking to put up style points. I think they do it here. I think they beat the hell out of Utah State. So there you go. There's your top 25. And in the daily lines, we'll take a look at some of the other teams that are playing around the great state of Texas. Take a look at those games as well. 1 hour to go in this little show. When we come back, we'll replay our interview from this morning with head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, Mike McCarthy, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. After that, we'll wrap up the huddle here.
I just noticed you're fully adorned in your Army regalia. You pretty for Army Navy?
I can't wait.
You gonna take all that?
I can't wait.
You'll be amongst friends.
I cannot wait. Are you gonna? Who are you cheering for?
I'm bringing my Air Force. I'll have my Falcon blue on.
But you have to pick a side.
I don't. I pick the Air Force.
We'll be back. Morning Huddle 94.1.
You're locked on the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM Floresville. San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Pro Football Pick'em giveaway is back. Head to sasportstar.com and pick the winners of each pro football game every week to earn points for each correct pick. Highest points each week wins a $25 gift card to Mellow Mushroom. Highest points overall scores $1,000 worth of tickets from A Awesome Tickets. Pick the winning ticket of every regular season game. Win the grand prize, $50,000. This is an audience national contest across multiple markets. The 50K Pro Football Giveaway. Register and win at sasportstar.com.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. With Progressive Insurance, you can make sure your family is well taken care of with life insurance. Protect your phones, laptops, and more with electronic device insurance. And cover your furry friends with pet health insurance. Visit Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
Has a loved one died and left you an old car to sell? GiveMeTheVin.com has just launched the new service GMTVCC.com. Write this down, GMTVCC.com, which is Give Me the VIN classic and collector car buying service. GMTVCC.com will hook you up with GMTVCC Pro buyers that will appraise and offer on that 69 Chevelle, old Corvette, old truck, and especially Restomods. We love Restomods at GMTVCC.com. Don't mess with consignments or auctions. Get paid today on your classic or collector car at GMTVCC.com.
Joe Reinagle here for the Golf Club of Texas, open to the public 7 days a week with a country club feel. It's football season, so book your tee times early at golfclubtexas.com and stick around and watch the games. Make Golf Club of Texas your football headquarters where you can watch every game. They'll even stay open until the end of every NFL game, including Thursday, Sunday, and Monday nights. Get into the Tin Cup Bar at the Golf Club of Texas, Highway 90 at Briggs Ranch Road. Golf Club of Texas, the friendliest golf course in Texas.
See website for details. Bills Happen is not a lender and does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
Honey, the credit card bill came and we're maxed out.
Great. Maxed out cards, rent is due, bills are piling up. We just need some extra cash to help us get by for a few weeks.
We should do what my brother did. He went to billshappen.com and got $3,000 the next day.
With our bad credit, I don't think so.
Billshappen.com is different. They are one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with all credit types get up to $5,000.
I'm sure there's a lot of paperwork.
Nope, my brother said it was easy. He did it right from his phone.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan for up to $5,000 in minutes, and your cash can hit your bank account the next day. Bills Happen's lenders have millions of dollars to lend, regardless of your credit history.
Great news! I went to billshappen.com, and we will have our money as soon as tomorrow.
Wow, that is fast.
If you need extra cash, go to billshappen.com. That's billshappen.com. Billshappen.com.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Let me ask you a question. Is your roof ready for anything? Well, Stevens Roofing, a locally owned company, has been serving our community for decades. Whether it's a commercial project or residential, or repairing your old roof, or maybe installing a new one, they've got you covered. And now Stevens offers solar. Stevens Solar Solutions can save you money and energy. Stevens Roofing, quality craftsmanship, solar solutions, and local expertise under one roof. Call 210-785-0994 or go to stevensroofing.net.
The Gomez Law Firm has been helping injured victims in car and trucking accidents for 50 years. We have Jose with the Gomez Law Firm here. Jose, if someone finds themselves faced with the stress of an accident, what next?
Well, the first thing they should do is pick up the phone, call the Gomez Law Firm, or Google joegomezlaw.com.
The Gomez Law Firm is the leader in personal injury law. If you have been in an accident, you need a firm that will fight for you and your family's rights.
We do ride-sharing cases, we do 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years.
The Gomez Law Firm fights for you against the big insurance companies and wins. Tell us about some other cases you represent.
Really anything that involves a personal injury and a third party that is responsible for causing that injury, we will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have found yourself faced with a personal injury matter, if you've been in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then it's important to call the Gomez Law Firm today. Visit joegomezlaw.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Looks like a new trouble spot on the northeast side, 35 southbound Judson Road. Broken down vehicle, right lane, a little bit of stop and go from Olympia Parkway. Highway 90 westbound at 1604, that stall now off to the shoulder. I-10 eastbound past Fresno, disabled vehicle, left shoulder blocked. And just north of downtown on Fredericksburg Road, between Flores and Culebra, they're on near the train tracks. We've got a train that is stopped right on the railroad tracks. It is causing delays. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
The San Antonio Spurs took down the Portland Trailblazers last night, 118-105. 8 players in double figures, paced by Keldon and Malachi, 17 apiece off the bench. The Baltimore Ravens held off the Cincinnati Bengals 35-34 as the Bengals went for 2 at the end of the game and failed. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
All right, well, let's get right to it. And joining us now on the program is the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys on the Buyers Barricade guest line, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds, Coach Mike McCarthy. Good morning, Coach. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good morning.
Coach, we were just talking about this when, we've talked to you about a lot of injuries this season, and every week it's like, oh, how are you going to deal with this? How are you going to deal with this? But when it comes to losing your quarterback in this league, there's about 15 teams that know we've got our guy at quarterback. And when you have that guy, everything that you do is built around that guy. When you lose him, and you've got enough fires to put out, but when you lose Dak for the foreseeable future, I mean, how hard is it to just adjust everything you're doing while still trying to deal with the multiple other fires that are going on in the house?
I think, stating the obvious, the quarterback position, what it brings to our game, the importance of it, and that's a challenge that a number of teams go through every year, and now we're in it. But I really think it goes back to how you set up your operation, and I've always poured a lot of energy into the importance, the design, and the approach in the quarterback room, and I feel like we have an excellent one here, and Cooper is a big part of that. Even when Dak is the starter, and now it's his turn, and he's fully prepared. He has the confidence of everybody in the room, not just the players, but also the coaches. So I think it just goes back to how you train and how you operate every day, because it gives you a good opportunity to compete and win during these times.
Coach, what stands in the way often becomes the way, and as you have the quarterback that you're comfortable with, the way will be with Cooper. What is it about Cooper that that stands out? What's the thing that you look forward to having him out there doing?
Cooper's super consistent. Has great command of the offense. He's very bright. He's played quarterback his whole life, so he really knows how to play the position, how to manage the game. His decision making. He doesn't take a lot of chances. So there's a level of consistency. Really comes from his discipline and how he plays the game.
The third quarterback, Trey Lance, Jerry Jones came out and said that he expects that Trey Lance will be a part of this offense. How much Trey do you expect to insert? And is this something like where there's going to be packages, or are we talking about maybe it's going to almost look like a preseason game where we see a guy for a while and then we might see a full drive of Trey Lance?
I'm playing to win the game, so I think there's always a lot of ideas floating around, but we have a game plan that was built off what we've been doing in the past. We're not here trying to recreate the wheel, so we're playing to win this game.
Speaking of the game coming up, got the Eagles coming in. You've had great success, at least at home, against Hurts and the Eagles. What have you done in the past that's been so effective against Hurts, and can it be duplicated again on Sunday?
Well, I think anything with this football team, and it's been this way since I've been here. I mean, everything with the Eagles offense really starts up front. They've been an exceptional team running the football. Clearly evident with 2020 through 2022, and I think last year they got away from it some. Threw the ball more than they did in prior years, but it's they're really back to running it and running it very well. Saquon Barkley has made a huge impact to their run game, to their offense, to their football team. So it's going to start with the run, and Jalen's and he's part of that. Just his abilities. He's dangerous. Big plays, important plays in the game. Situational offense. Account for him in the run game it's always been a challenge, and I think they're doing a really good job with that. And then you go, then you look at the perimeter. They got a dynamic perimeter. They got the tight end and two outstanding receivers too. This is a very, very talented offense.
Now, last week we talked about your two big frustrations this season, which were turnovers and penalties. You guys really cleaned up the turnovers last week. Clean game on that front, but the penalties continue to be an issue. Are those things equal in terms of importance in your mind? You tell your guys, hey, great job with the turnovers, but we still lose games because of penalties. Is one more important than the other in your mind?
I would say, clearly taking the ball security is the most important.
Sure.
That's probably the most important component of being successful, and the history of this game will reflect that. But taking care of the football, having a zero gives was important. Had the one takeaway, so one to turnover ratio. But the penalties, you have to look at it. The real punch in the gut with the penalties was the pre-snap penalties. And the majority of them stemmed from cadence and on the road, this, the silent count cadence, and that's been, we've been significantly better at home than on the road, and that's something we've put a tremendous amount of time in, so that has to come to fruition. But yeah, the pre-snap penalties are the ones you can't have them. You have to eliminate them. There's, you're going to have some combative penalties. I mean, that's part of playing the game. If you don't have combative penalties, then you're not playing hard enough. So we got to really knuckle down on these pre-snap penalties.
Yeah, the omission and commission penalties. At home, you guys have been so good at home. Are you doing anything different? Are we acting as if it's just another home game? Are you acting like it's a roadie and putting people in hotels 2 days early? I mean, what do you do to break a mojo that it shouldn't even exist?
Yeah, we looked at tweak and adjust. I mean, let's go back to when we didn't stay in a hotel. The first time we let the veterans sleep in their own beds, we went on a 2-year winning streak. So that's what the facts tell you about scheduling. So yeah, we're just looking to adjust some things during the week, emphasis wise, and hopefully it'll make a difference.
I won't name names, but I mean, I know you. One of your former quarterbacks probably knows a shaman or some sort of voodoo wizard who could sage the house and just sort of get out all the negative vibes and just get you a fresh start. If you want to call him and just get a
down
reset
here in South
that building.
Texas, we got a few. We could find a few that might be able to cast a spell or two to get things off the bar. If you need that kind of help, we're here for you.
Well, gosh, I appreciate that. I haven't given that any thought.
Well, we're going to need a lock of hair and a couple of eggs, but if you really want it, you're in.
Aaron has some ideas for you there.
A lock of hair and a couple of eggs. Okay,
well, I don't want to get into how it happens, Coach, but we can take care of some things.
I don't need to know. I don't need to know how that happens, as long as it happens.
Coach, as you guys get into some games here against rivals, does your locker room perk up a little bit when they play the Eagles? You play the Texans after that. These are games that, I mean, every game in the NFL matters, but when the Cowboys play the Eagles, it just feels like it probably means more, especially the guys who have been around a little bit longer. I mean, I would assume you expect to get a real peak effort out of your guys this week.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a rival game. That's how we start the week. Talk about the series, the history of the series, and the importance of, these division games, and and the Cowboys and Eagles has always been knockdown, drag out type games. So that's that's what we expect, and the most important thing is the veterans, the players that have been here know. You just got to make sure the rookies, the first year player, make sure they're engaged and totally what the heck we're getting ready to go do and how we're going to do it.
Just as a fan, Coach, when you watch film of Saquon, have you seen anything like that short of Sanders? I mean, that. A couple of plays last week are indicative of what he's done all season. And when you see a back like that who is as shifty, what's the first thing you tell your defenders to do? Is it to break down early, go for the ankle? What do you do?
Well, the biggest thing is you tackle to your contain. I mean, tackle to your leverage point. And yeah, and I do agree with your opinion on him. I think he's, I don't know if I've ever seen him play this well. When he came into the league, he made such a huge impact, but then he had the serious, he had the knee injury, and he's just playing with a whole different level of confidence right now. So, and they're feeding him. So, I mean, he had the big touchdown, catch on the chow route, the wheel route up in the end zone. So he's not only just doing it from the backfield, he's doing it coming out of the backfield too.
Those Pennsylvania boys, I'll tell you what.
Coach, it looks like about every key player leader on your team has an injury designation, from CD and Dak to Trayvon and Parsons and D-Law and Zach Martin. How many of those guys you expect to play? And if they can't, I mean, who are the guys that you expect to step up as leadership on this team?
Well, I mean, D-Law, he's not ready yet. But,
right.
I think I see the other guys playing.
Okay, so you expect Micah to be out there this week?
Yes, I do.
And Bland?
Bland, I'm sorry. No, he's unless he has a great day today and practices tomorrow. So
were you talking about Kendricks?
No, he was talking about Diggs.
Oh, Diggs.
Yeah, he was talking about Diggs and CD.
Trayvon, Trayvon and CD and Micah have all practiced this week, and Zach has just been on a veteran day on Wednesday, so I see him going too.
All right, that is head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, Mike McCarthy. Coach, one more question before we go. If Dak, if this season is kind of over from a wins-loss standpoint, a playoff possibility standpoint, by the time Dak's ready to go, do you bring him back, or do you kind of say, all right, let's reset this Dak? You keep getting your body right and be prepared for the off season, or are you trying to get Dak back as soon as possible, even if the games are meaningless at that point?
I mean, honestly, it's way too early to have that conversation. I know he's continuing to get evaluations next week, so I think just like any injury with our players, you have to get all the information, and he needs to make the best decision for himself and for the long term. So that's really where the focus is.
All right, that is head coach Mike McCarthy, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. Coach, we appreciate the time, and we'll talk to you again next week. Good luck against the Eagles.
Best of luck.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
There you go. That's head coach Mike McCarthy, and of course, all guests appear via the Buyers Barricade guest line. Buyers Barricades provides traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond online at buyersbarricades.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Looks like a new trouble spot on the northeast side, 35 southbound Judson Road. Broken down vehicle, right lane, a little bit of stop and go from Olympia Parkway. Highway 90 westbound at 1604, that stall now off to the shoulder. I-10 eastbound past Fresno, disabled vehicle, left shoulder blocked. And just north of downtown on Fredericksburg Road, between Flores and Culebra, they're near the train tracks. We've got a train that is stopped right on the railroad tracks. It is causing delays. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
What's up? 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the NFL. Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday night football. Presented locally by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because feeling full can sound like this.
How did the interview go? I did it! I got the job! I can't believe it!
And like this.
Mom, I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations.
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/act now. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check you have a full tank of gas first before road tripping through the desert.
Empty? Seriously? Maybe I can walk.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Maybe I can't.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay, and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today. That's progressive.com/careers.
When you are just craving something salty and packs a crunch, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds is your crunch time decision. Game day just got a whole lot crunchier thanks to the powerhouse snack, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. We're talking about crispy, golden bites of pure awesomeness. Pork rinds are your MVP snack. And get this, they're low carb and high in protein, so you can keep the energy high without the guilt. Don't settle for ordinary on game day. Grab yourself a bag of Southern Recipe Pork Rinds at H-E-B today.
Hi, everyone. If you or someone you know were diagnosed with lung cancer or mesothelioma, listen up, because you could be entitled to significant compensation. We have legal professionals standing by right now to take your call, and they'll tell you if you qualify for a cash settlement. Call 800-570-0200. That's 800-570-0200. Call now and find out how much money you could potentially get.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center, may not be available in all states.
At the UPS Store, we know being a small business owner means holiday time is still go time. Still get those orders shipped time. And still re-up on stamps and supplies time. That's why this upcoming holiday, while others close up shop, we'll be open. And happy to help you keep being unstoppable. Come into your local store today. Most locations are independently owned. Product, services, pricing, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable.
When I wake up
the best mornings
in the morning light,
start with Wrangler.
I pull on my jeans and I feel all right.
Jeans, jackets, and shirts that get your day started. good mornings make for better days. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
At Frost, some of our services sound too good to be true. Like the largest ATM network in Texas. Early payday, so direct deposits made to personal checking accounts are available up to 2 days earlier. Having a real live banker to talk to 24/7. Or that time a Frost banker gave a San Antonio restaurant her personal debit card number after a customer's card was mistakenly declined at his business dinner. True story. Frost, exactly what you unexpected.
Guys, Underdog is the place to play if you're a sports fan looking to win money while you're watching sports. They've got all your favorite leagues, teams, and stars to choose from. You think Dak is going to have higher or lower yards than his stat coming up in this game? You can make money off that opinion at Underdog. Create entries with football, basketball, mix and match. You can do it all. They've even got college sports as well. I've been playing a lot of those college props. I think there is some money to be made in those deals. This week on Underdog, I'm looking at the Spurs. I'm going Wemby to go over on his rebounds. And guys, again, every sport is available on here. It's a blast, and it just makes the games more interesting. This season, they're running a special promo or bonus almost every single day. Profit boost, discounts, free picks. They're basically a sure thing. A player has to get higher than a half a point to get the win. All new users get a free pick. Download the app, sign up with the promo code Alamo, deposit now, and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash immediately. That's promo code Alamo. Must be 18 or older. Present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
When there's work to do, ground to break, and a reputation to uphold, you need the powerful, durable Kubota RTVX, North America's #1 selling diesel utility vehicle. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 60 months or save up to $1,000. Now through December 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, you own Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime! The biggest story in sports today, the passing of Kirk Herbstreit's dog, Ben. R.I.P. to Ben the dog.
Yeah, he had a chance to go to College Station and meet Reveille.
Oh, what a dog,
So,
Ben
he made it
was.
to that and then crossed the rainbow. That's sad.
He was a happy dog.
That's sad. I know that's one of the more painful things you go through in life.
I hate it.
And you never, there's just.
It's the worst thing about dogs, quite honestly.
It is. It's worth it, though.
Usually it is. Usually it is. So thoughts out to Kirk Herbstreit losing his buddy Ben. Apparently had cancer. He had to put him down yesterday. So that's a sad day for Kirk Herbstreit. Bronny.
Also crossing the Rainbow Bridge.
Bronny crossed a different bridge. He crossed the bridge to the G League. Bronny is headed to South Bay Lakers. He's a Laker still, but now he's a South Bay Laker. And I'm guessing he'll get to play a little bit.
In April, we'll see him again.
So there's some of the random events that happened that we haven't really gotten time to discuss today. It's a football Friday, so we were heavy on football. We talked some Spurs. Spurs play tomorrow.
Tomorrow at 4, kind of a nooner.
Who they got?
Fell out of my brain.
I know Monday they got the Kings.
Yeah.
We might be at that game on Monday.
I'm planning on it. Let's see. Let me click on the appropriate click.
I got it here.
Utah.
Yeah, they're Utah Jazz. They ought to be able to win that game.
They better. They're punching in their weight class. This is a nice little homestand. You're going to do it without, I think, Malachi for a couple games, though we have a Devin Vassell sighting. He has been cleared to start practicing a little bit. So,
what do we think? How long?
I'd say if he's practicing, he'll be in the next 2-3 games. He'll be here next week.
Do you think this Castle in the starting lineup thing is more of a Mitch Johnson thing or a Jeremy Sohan thing?
It's a Jeremy Sohan thing.
Okay. Because, again, I didn't watch the whole game last night, but what I saw of him, that was the most confident he's looked.
Yeah, he's going to get more and more minutes. But I think now, it's because they're shifting personnel because of Sohan. But
does that mean when Devin's here that Steph's the odd man out?
I think
because I don't think you can sit Julian because he's been like one of your only consistent offensive guys. You're not going to sit Barnes because he's a leader and he plays defense. So Castle might be back down to the bench.
I think Stephen is going to be given every opportunity to play as much as his defense will keep him on the court. As long as he is doing what he's doing now, minutes will maintain and grow. And if he hadn't been playing good defense prior to getting the starts, he wouldn't have gotten the start. But the one thing you can trust with him is he's going to play good man on defense. That's what he's good at. And he doesn't look like a rookie. I heard Sean Elliott say it again last night. He's not a full-on pro, but Stephen never looks lost. He might be a step slow. He might be thinking about stuff, but he never looks like he's on the wrong side of the court trying to figure out where he's supposed to be on anything. So I think more reps mean more minutes mean more reps, and by the end of the year, we very well could have a starter. It wouldn't shock me at all.
I think you're right. All right, let's look at some things that are going on in the world of not sports. You know how I always say I don't go to the Middle East. There's a lot of places in the world I don't go to. Middle East is one of them. I'm not looking to travel to the Middle East. I know there's parts of the Middle East that are nice. I hear nice things about Abu Dhabi and
Dubai and the UAE. Yeah, nice places.
Well, here you go. A man from the UK is facing 2 years in a Dubai prison. Craig Ballantyne is a 33-year-old from Belfast. He worked at a dog groomer for 6 months last year in Dubai. He was diagnosed with fibromyalgia and had to take time off from work.
Okay.
Despite providing his employer with a doctor's note, he was reported as absconded by his boss, violating Dubai employment law. This resulted in him losing his job and having a travel ban placed on his passport, which took 2 months and thousands of, I guess I would say dollars, but I guess it was pounds to lift to let him go back home to Northern Ireland. So he was stuck in Dubai with no job. Well,
for like a no-call, no-show, you can't even leave the country.
Right.
All right.
So he was upset about this, and he left a negative Google review about the pet salon and his former boss.
Is there an intifada now on him?
Well, he visited Abu Dhabi on a holiday and was taken to Dubai to face slander charges under cybercrime laws. He is now stuck in Abu Dhabi, unable to return to his job as an autism support worker, and facing a 2-year prison sentence. What? For leaving a negative Google review.
Well, what the hell was he doing going back?
Great question. I don't know. Again, don't go there. Don't go there. Yeah. It's a different world from what we're used to. Like, you can say, oh, well, there's as much as people here can complain about, we don't have the freedoms and blah, blah, blah. We got a lot more freedoms in a lot of places still. Believe that. And in the Middle East, even the progressive Middle East, you got freedoms until you offend someone's sensibilities. Yeah. And then suddenly they don't like it much. Look, I don't go to Russia. You know why? Because they throw you in the gulag for having a little bit of weed on you. I don't want to go to the gulag.
Right, for 10 years?
Yeah, because I got a joint.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not. Yeah. If you're that hardcore on stuff that's everyday things in our country, I'm out. If giving a negative Google review is going to throw me in the slammer,
I wouldn't leave the review.
I'm leaving that review, but I'm just never going back. I'm never going back. You'll never see me again. Yeah. Never showing my face at that dog groomer again. Even my dog's real dirty.
I wonder if you make good money being a dog groomer in
he was apparently it was like a salon. He called it he was a doggy stylist at a salon.
But he couldn't get that same work back in Britain. He had to go into autism.
Yeah, apparently so. So now he's helping.
Curious.
He went from helping doggies. I mean, maybe he was helping autistic dogs. I don't know.
I have an autistic dog.
Do you?
I'm pretty sure.
What kind? I mean, where's he at on the spectrum? Do you know?
I don't know what. How do we define
spectrum?
It? I think he's a full spectrum. I think he's got all of it.
An officer was assigned to deal with some e-fraud cases. There was a couple of old folks who were being defrauded, and they said, you know what, we're going to put an officer on this. to help these old folks out. Well, he was then illegally using electronic money that was swindled in a special fraud case. So he got his hands on the money
ill-gotten gains
that had gotten swindled.
Yeah.
He got it back, but rather than return it to the old people,
he kept it.
He kept it and spent it.
They're old. They don't miss stuff like that.
You know, it's like what the criminals were doing was they were getting a code number for like e-money, like Apple Pay or whatever, over the internet, and then they were using it for payments. Well, he got some of those codes, and then he started doing this. He's a bad guy now. What are we doing?
I'm reading some bad news here.
Uh-oh, what's the bad news?
Our favorite breakdancer is retiring from competition.
Oh, no.
Ray Gunn, the Australian brilliance, is retiring after following some really upsetting backlash, she says.
Yeah, people weren't good to her, man.
I didn't know she had a career to retire from.
I didn't.
But she announced yesterday on the
She's just awful.
Jimmy and Nath show there in Australia that she was not going to be competing anymore. Really difficult for her to approach this after what happened to her professionally. I'm glad she had the opportunity to announce that she was retiring. That's like me announcing, I'm going to go ahead and retire from the PGA. I'm going to announce today that I will no longer be playing on anything even remotely close to the Professional Golfers Association.
It's good of you, man.
I'm announcing it today. It's hard. You know, they have to rip the shirt off you. But I just can't do it anymore, AJ.
Yeah.
I'll spend some time with my family. No more golf for me.
Well, I'll go ahead and take this moment then and say I am no longer going to play competitive lacrosse. I love it, but my body's not up for it anymore.
Well, there goes the farewell tour.
Yeah,
that's it.
Well, we're calling it a career. We'll next see you when you put on your pink jacket, the lacrosse pink jacket Hall of Fame.
Did you see the Equatorial Guinea guy who he's a civil servant, but he had hundreds of sex tapes of himself that were with other men's wives. That was the only women he was interested in banging, were married women.
Evidently, he was good at it.
He is also married, and his name is Baltasar Ebang Igonga.
You said Ebang.
Ebang.
Bart Ebang.
And basically,
that's not real.
It's a real story.
That's a Starbucks name.
It's a real story. The government has announced that they would order the immediate suspension of all civil servants who have had sexual relations in the office of the ministries, as this constitutes a flagrant violation of the Code of Conduct on the law of public ethics.
I think it should.
We're talking hundreds of other government officials' wives. The wild thing about it is this guy's not particularly handsome.
I've just looked him up. I'm looking at him. I'm trying to figure out this story here.
How's he having sex with all these women? And apparently all of the filming was done consensually.
He looks like Forrest Whitaker's son.
Doesn't
he? He does.
From a distance, I see blurry far. So
he looks like he's got a light bulb head.
Yeah.
I want to know who wrote this article. Within the confines of his house, workplace, and a few hotels, Baltasar was living his lavish sex life and sampling women of all hues and abilities.
That's right. All abilities.
You're kidding.
Bang a chick in a wheelchair. He doesn't care.
She was handy capable.
Yeah. He banged a professional golfer.
Over 400 sex films.
There's a rumor that he banged an Australian breakdancer.
Forced her retirement with 300 women.
Who had sex with an Albanian boxer.
Jeez.
Well,
that might have been awkward.
Yeah. Little bit.
So Teddy Nguema, the vice president of Equatorial Guinea, has declared his plans to immediately install even more surveillance cameras in all government offices.
Well, yeah, we need to see more of it. You need
controversy.
You need more than one angle when you're making a sex tape. If the sex tape's all from one angle, it's like boring.
That ends up with one particular classification when it should be on a bunch of.
Boring. You got to get a 3-camera shot these days.
It's all about cinematography.
You need 3 angles.
What's this dude's name? Balthasar Ebang Agonga.
I told you he's a real person. You doubted it.
Isn't that the bad guy in Battlestar Galactica?
I don't know. Sounds about right.
Balthazar Ibangagonga.
You watch all that nerd stuff. You would know.
I don't know. I just haven't watched it in a minute.
Sounds like a Star Wars character. Balthazar Ebang.
It does.
Yeah.
He's the bad guy, probably.
He's probably like one of those guys who lives on that the island with or the planet with all the space pirates, like where they have to steal parts.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they need parts for the Falcon, for the Millennium Falcon.
Right.
And they all hate Han Solo because he's a pirate too. What's that planet called?
Oh, it'll hit me in a second. It's not part of the Kessel Run, was it?
See, you guys just
Tatooine?
That might be what it is. Yeah. So you guys might have just failed your nerd test, but it looks like you're good. All right, when we come back, we'll do what we always do at this time. We'll take a look at the daily lines. It's the Morning Huddle. You know what? On our way out, we've got tickets to go see Veer Das, see him do comedy November 16th. That would be a week from tomorrow at the Aztec Theater. Let's give it away on the Brigade Bar. Let's go with the first person to tell me. What should we do? How should we do it? First person to tell me what Edwin drank yesterday is going to win tickets to go see Veer Das November 16th at the Aztec Theater. And if you don't win, you can go to livenation.com and pick up tickets there. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy goes one-on-one and has some fun with the Morning Huddles, AJ and Rob, Friday mornings.
Now, you don't got a contract. You got nothing to lose. Is a 70-yard field goal in the offing soon? Will we see that this year?
Depends on the win this week. Mike McCarthy's unfiltered look at the Cowboys' upcoming game. Friday mornings at 6:45 and 9. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Attention, Dallas Cowboys fans. Twin Peaks is giving away epic Cowboys jerseys all season just for catching game day with them. And with 4 San Antonio locations, get to Twin Peaks for every boys game for your chance to win. Ask your Twin Peaks girl for more details.
If you're thinking about a compact tractor and you want the best, you can afford a Kubota. Hi, I'm John Ewald with Ewald Kubota. Come into one of our 11 locations and check out our tractor package deals. We're offering 0 down and 0 APR financing for 84 months or up to $3,300 off select compact tractors. With a deal this good, you can afford a Kubota from Ewald Kubota. Check out our package specials at ewaldkubota.com.
Now through December 31st, see us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. And one thing I've learned is that you buy a house, but you make it a home. Because with every fix, update, and renovation, it becomes a little more your own. So you need all your jobs done well. For nearly 30 years, Angie has helped millions of homeowners hire skilled pros for the projects that matter. From plumbing to electrical, roof repair to deck upgrades. So leave it to the pros who will get your jobs done well. Hire high-quality certified pros at Angie.com.
Hey there, Cowboy fans! San Antonio Sports Star has something special just for you. Imagine this, you and a loved one, and the excitement of a Dallas Cowboys home game under the bright lights at AT&T Stadium. Well, thanks to AARP and San Antonio Sports Star, we're giving you the chance to make that dream come true. It's easy. Just visit sasportsstar.com to enter for your shot at winning 2 tickets to see the Cowboys live. Whether it's your first game or your 100th, nothing compares to being there, surrounded by fellow fans, soaking up that incredible energy. And hey, this isn't just about football. It's about creating memories with someone close to you. AARP knows how important that is, and that's why they're proud to sponsor this special giveaway. So don't wait. Head over to sasportsstar.com. Enter and picture yourself in those seats, sharing an unforgettable day. We can't wait to send you to the game. Visit sasportsstar.com to enter. sasportsstar.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem.
Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-583-5795.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-583-5795. That's 800-583-5795.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
My dad was from West Virginia, so he had a very distinct accent. And I met this guy. He was handsome and everything else, but he sounded like my dad. He left a voicemail message once, and my mom was like, "Your father called." And I was just like, "Yeah, I can't do that." Especially if I'm going to call you daddy.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Sunday afternoon at 3:25. Settling in after 2 on the road. The Cowboys take on the Philadelphia Eagles at home.
I like this kind of party.
Pre-game starts at 2:30. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota.
This is home cooking. How about them Cowboys?
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hi, this is Joe Reinagel, and you're listening to the home of the Dallas Cowboys, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Bam, 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 dun, 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 dun.
Huddling up for the last 20 minutes of the program today. Rob, you still got that guy's picture on your computer. That's odd.
I just keep reading more stories.
It's disturbing that you're still staring into his eyes. No wonder.
This dude was over the National Financial. This dude was stealing money. This story is a lot deeper than him just sleeping around with 300 women.
Well, when you get the money, you get the power. When you get the power, you bang everybody's wife.
Yeah. He might have bankrupted the entire country of Equatorial Guinea.
Congratulations to J-Rod, who knew that Edwin sampled mead, the first alcohol he'd ever tasted in his life.
Yep.
Yesterday.
And mead might be the original alcohol.
And
it's got to be up there.
His face expression was priceless.
Oh, we thought we were going to get to see that again. And I tried to warn him as it was coming up to us, like, slow down on that, Hoss. You don't want to take too long a pull on there.
Well, let's do what we always do and take a look at the daily lines here.
It's the Morning Huddle's look at the daily lines with AJ and Rob on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Daily Lines brought to you by SA Card House, San Antonio's premier card house, 281 and Bitters. Told you guys next week we're going to try something out. I'm going to let you guys know when I'm playing in a tournament. And if you go to that tournament, you play in that one, you knock me out, they'll refund your money. They'll so let's say you pay $75 for an entry into the tournament, you knock me out. As soon as I'm out, you don't even have to win the tournament. You just go up and say, "Hey, I knocked AJ from the Morning Huddle out." They're going to put $75 right back in your pocket. So
you're assuming you're going to be in. You're going to be in just because you bought it, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So
I'm
you
going
don't
to
have
say,
to win to be knocked out. You're just already there.
I'm going to be there.
All right, I got you.
You can knock me out. In fact, this is going to make it harder for me to win.
That's what I'm saying. It made it. I was thinking I didn't want to make sure it was easier for them and not you.
No, it's easier for them. Yes. I don't get paid to get knocked out. I only get paid if I don't get knocked out. But if you knock me out, you'll get that $75 or whatever you're buying is right in your pocket. All right. So let's look at the daily lines. Let's start with college hoops today. Got a lot of top 25 teams in action. Yeah. Army is at Duke. Duke, a 33.5-point favorite against Army. Now, if Coach K were still at Duke, he would probably take it easy on Army at the end. He was the type of guy, he didn't want to embarrass our troops. I don't know if this scumbag coach they have now is as kind to the troops. But if Duke wants to blow out Army, I think they've got every opportunity to do so tonight.
I think that they're going to beat them by a handy 3.5 points.
North Carolina, come on and raise up. Take your shirt off. Twist it around your head. Spin it like a helicopter.
Petey Pablo.
They're at Kansas. Kansas doesn't have a cool song like that.
Rock, chalk, Jayhawk.
I guess Kansas does have all we are is dust in, or no, they have carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace, right?
Yeah,
that's Kansas, right?
Yeah, that's kind of Kansas.
Yeah, watch the copyright. You sound pretty
That was
close
so close.
To it.
They're gonna
yeah.
This is a rare matchup. You don't normally see this game in Kansas. It's normally at like
in like a preseason tournament or something. Yeah.
In Hawaii. A matchup of the two of the big ones. I saw North Carolina play the other night. They're solid and deep, and they're bringing back potential Hayton Naismith winner guard
R.J. Davis.
And Davis. Kansas got big boy coming.
They got a potential Naismith winner.
And loaded for Bear as well.
Winner.
This is going to be a potential Final Four matchup, as it always is. The Blue Bloods get going early, and I don't know who to pick.
Kansas is a 7.5-point favorite. Give me the over 160.
That's probably the safest.
When we talked about Hunter Dickinson earlier, Hunter Dickinson, really good offensive player, really bad defensive player. R.J. Davis, really good offensive player, really bad defensive player. I think that in the tempo, I think these guys are going to go. Give me over 160 in this one. Purdue laying 20.5, hosting Northern Kentucky.
That's a shootout.
Yeah.
Shootout. This is a rivalry game. These are two teams that grew up with each other, right next door to each other. It looks like on paper the Big Ten should roll. No, look out! They're going to be 170 points scored in this game. 180.
And remember before the Purdue A&M Corpus Christi game, and they're like 25-point favorites. I was like, that doesn't seem right. Purdue with no Zach Edey, who knows what they'll look like. Now A&M Corpus Christi, I think actually might be good.
Yeah, they're good, but what Purdue is not what they were before. But they've got three guys that can shoot. They're gonna light it up from the outside. A lot more high-scoring games from Purdue and Matt Painter this year than they've had in the past, just because they don't have the rim protector defense that they used to.
Cincinnati laying 28.5, hosting Morehead State. Morehead State coming off a 93-45 loss against Louisville. So they are perfectly capable of getting their bleat pushed in.
Yeah, I don't know.
It might happen here again. Usually Morehead State's a team that's a solid squad. And it's not big travel for them. Cincinnati's not far from the campus. So
I just don't know enough about the Bearcats to say anything.
Ole Miss laying 22.5 against Grambling. Anytime you get these SWAC teams, you can get a real big blowout. I'll probably stay away from this one.
Chris Beard back on the saddle there with the Rebs.
Yep.
I expect big stuff this year.
Alabama taking on the Arkansas State Red Wolves down in Tuscaloosa. Tide, 23.5-point favorites here. Alabama's got a good squad this year. Number 2 team in the country.
Nate Oates can coach his.
He's one of the best in the country, I think. Texas A&M fighting Aggies.
0-1.
0-1 take on the 0-2, no longer Texas A&M Commerce. They are now East Texas A&M, the Lions. I assume they're still the Lions.
Now, I wonder if they decided they wanted to go directional, or did the system tell them
I don't know.
they had to go? Because normally you run from that. Normally you don't want to be a directional or double directional, like Southwest Texas. You don't want to be a directional school. And Commerce, I don't know, maybe because people thought it was like a one-stoplight town. East Texas A&M sounds. I don't get that. I don't
Corpus
like
Christi didn't have to change their name.
No, that's what I'm saying. Did it inflict on them? Did A&M go, you know what? We're not going to, this Commerce stuff, that's not working.
I don't know.
Texas.
I don't know. Another recent name change school from Texas, Houston Christian, which was once Houston Baptist. They are at Texas, who, from what I understand, the University of Texas has had the same name for a long time now. The Longhorns, 33.5-point favorites at home.
That's a safe wager.
Marquette, 12.5-point favorites hosting George Mason. Marquette, if I'm not mistaken, it looked like they were playing with fire against Stony Brook, and then they cranked it up and won that game by 40. I could see that happening again here. And the Lobos, the New Mexico Lobos, are at UCLA. UCLA, a 4.5-point favorite. I say at UCLA. They're actually playing in Henderson, Nevada, in my backyard up there. Two good defensive teams. I like New Mexico, but UCLA might be a little too much for them here. So it'll probably be a stay away. But I wouldn't mind maybe a little sprinkle on the Lobos. I usually like to mess with the Lobos when they're at home. One of the best home courts in the country.
Absolutely,
there in the
and I think people always discount New Mexico basketball as a whole. You don't want to go in there. They're always tough.
That's a tough place to play, the Pit. Let's look at some of the college football lines around the great state of Texas. You know what? Let's look at the games tonight first. Cal's at Wake Forest, Cal a 7.5-point favorite on the road. Need to see the injury report there, but I kind of like Wake 7.5 at home. Feels like a lot. Cal's better, but should they be 7.5-point road favorites going all the way?
We know what these college kids don't travel well
on a short week.
No,
probably Wake Forest or pass for me. Rice at Memphis. Rice is catching 8 or 8.5, depending on where you look. I kind of like Rice here.
So do I. But I don't know what to make of what we saw from Memphis against UTSA.
Here's what I know. Rice, now that they have fired their coach, they look interested again, and they're getting healthy. They get E.J. Warner back. I think Rice might be interesting here. Iowa's at UCLA. Iowa laying 6. I kind of like Iowa on the road here. I think UCLA is just garbage. Iowa had been flying under the radar all year.
They're going to hit the beach and go get some fish tacos and hang. No, they're going to whip their ass. They're going to have some nice time. It's a nice little visit to L.A. for the Iowa Hawkeyes. It's like their bowl game. Go out and have some fun.
And New Mexico doing a two-step. New Mexico is at San Diego State, the New Mexico football team at San Diego State. San Diego State, a 2-point favorite. That tells you, these are both two bad programs. I kind of like the under here. Under 66 is the way I would look. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give you a bonus pick. This doesn't happen very often, but this is an FCS game that I'm interested in. Dartmouth has been kind of the class of the Ivy League football this year.
Okay.
They lost last week for the first time in Ivy League play. They lost to Harvard.
You're kidding me.
Princeton is the worst team in the Ivy League. I think Dartmouth, coming off that first lost to one of the other top tier schools. Now they get to play the whipping boy. They're going to whip that ass. So give me the big green against Princeton.
All right, man.
You didn't see that coming, did you?
No, I didn't think the ace in the hole was the Dartmouth mean green.
The Texas schools in action this weekend. Texas, 22.5-point favorites hosting Florida. We talked about that game earlier.
Big number.
Feels like a lot of points. But like I said, Florida starting 2 freshman cornerbacks, 2 true freshman corners against this Texas offense. Yikes.
If Lagway was healthy.
If Lagway plays, I'm interested in Florida. If he doesn't, I think this is going to be a blowout. This isn't a Texas team, but I guess they are of interest around here. The Naval Academy are laying 3 at South Florida.
One of those things. Do they still have it after, getting the rug ripped out from
I think they may be shriveling up here. Who else do we have? Oh, Air Force, your people. 9.5-point dogs hosting Fresno State. Can you believe it?
They haven't seen the Veer run like the Falcons can run it in, a week.
Yeah, Air Force hasn't won a game in, a year. Texas Tech hosting Colorado, catching 4 points. I think if you wait, you'll get more points because Colorado always seems to take the late money. I like Texas Tech. I think they get the job done.
Go get your guns up, Tech.
Guns
this is a
up,
big game there at Jones Stadium. The whole world is watching.
Texas State heads out to Louisiana Monroe. Texas State, an 8-point road favorite.
So Monroe, they played Texas. They did. They played Texas. They played Texas State.
Mm-hmm.
Have they played everybody in Texas?
They're an honorary Texas
I think
school.
they're a Texas school. It feels like they played somebody else around here too. I appreciate their travel schedule.
They no, that's the only. They played well. No, that's the only ones. That's the only.
Felt like it was like 5 straight weeks. Monroe's been taking on a Texas school.
No, but that's the last of the Texas schools. But yeah, they are an honorary Texas school. I'll give them that. I think Texas State, it kind of gets things going here. Army's at North Texas. Army laying 4 on the road. Again, I like the over. I don't know who stops who in this game. North Texas's defense is atrocious. Going up against an Army offense, it's going to give them problems. I think Army, their offense looking bad against Air Force last week was partly a product of no Bryce Daly, but I think even if Bryson Daly doesn't play, I still think they're seeing a defense that's not used to their kind of offense, and Air Force is.
And they're good at even without him. That you have to execute for 4 straight quarters. They're going to run for 500 yards. They're better. They're going to win.
UTEP is hosting Kennesaw State. What a gross game. I think it's too many points, but I don't want to bet on Kennesaw State. They're one of the worst teams in the country. No, thank you. But UTEP really, really bad as well. So there you go. There's a look at what's going on in the great state of Texas this weekend. In the National Basketball Association, we like to call it, the Hawks are at the Pistons tonight. Pistons laying a point and a half, depending where you look.
Dude, the way Atlanta's playing, Reese Sachet getting 30
You like Reese Sachet now. You've changed your tune.
I'm just shocked at what I've seen. Right now, I'm going to ride that wave, though. I think they're better than that.
How about Pelicans plus 6.5 at Orlando?
No Paolo.
Warriors are at the Cavs. What a game there. 4.5-point favorites are the Cavs. I kind of like the Warriors. Bucks try to make it 2 in a row at the Knicks. Knicks are 7-point favoriits.
The Knicks will
Suns 2-point dogs at the Mavericks. And the Rockets are catching 8.5 at the Thunder. Enjoy the weekend, everybody. We'll be back on Monday. Take it easy.
On your ride to work, it's